Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Registered Ranching Podcast. It's Tucker Brown and Michael Stevens behind the mic. Do you go by Mike or Michael Steve? Michael.
Whatever.
Is it Michael Scott?
Michael, Ethan, Scott, Stevens. Just threw out my whole legal
You're a
name.
four-namer.
Four-namer?
You're a four. I forget.
Shout out to the four-namers. Shout out.
You a four-namer?
I'm a four-namer.
Oh, we're going to have to get to that in a minute because I didn't know that part either. Will. It is Will. Wasn't going that way. Mike. Here we go.
Yeah.
Michael. Mike.
Yeah.
Whatever you go by. What podcast is this for you? 4? 3?
It is my fourth.
Dude, we're kicking them out.
We're kicking them out. I'm loving it.
Kicking them out. And you got to do your first, your first float trip, kind of.
Yeah, my first little, apparently it's very popular here in Texas. You just sit on the creek all day and get to sipping and just hanging out.
Sipping and fishing.
That's it. I love it.
And you caught some?
I caught
some
two.
fish?
Yeah.
Caught 2 fish?
Yeah.
That's great.
Called
Shout out
him
to
a
Hayden.
pollywog.
Pollywog.
Yeah, shout out Hayden, the intern.
Pollywog or a mudcat.
Yeah.
One of those two. Whatever. I don't know what your second one was, but
Yeah.
the one you showed me a picture of.
They were both the same, so
Yeah.
both polys.
Pollies are mudcats.
Man, we're going to fry them up, too.
I wouldn't eat them, dude. That'd be like eating a coyote or something.
What the mustard's for, man.
That's what
I'm telling you. Pulls out that game.
Want to be good mustard, I reckon.
It better be good mustard to
Oh,
get
it
that
is.
on.
Heinz
Gosh.
yellow mustard.
Well, we have 2 guests today who came to the United States just for this podcast.
I know.
Okay, just for this
13-hour
podcast.
flight just for
Yeah,
us.
13-hour flight plus another 3 hours to Dallas.
Dang.
Pretty well, yeah.
Denver.
Yep.
And they spent 4 weeks here trying to get here to Throckmorton, Texas for the Registered Ranching Podcast. If everyone will help me welcome Will and Loretta. I almost forgot. Nicholas. Will and Loretta Nicholas. Welcome to the pod, guys.
Thank you. No, it's been a journey. The States, you threw a canyon in there. There was a few big rocks in a valley. I think you call it Monument Valley. And then there was this awesome rodeo at Cheyenne that we just sort of ended up at.
There's a little rodeo over there.
Little rodeo over there. Yeah, wow. There was this place that had bears and a big bubbly thing out of the ground. I think it was, what was it, Loretta?
Haha, Yellowstone National
Something
Park.
faithful.
Yeah,
Faithful.
something faithful. Yeah, so we went and had a look at that. So we got a little bit sidetracked getting here via that. And then, of course, one of the meccas of them all, the beef short course, where
The short course.
short course. And Tucker, you might have seen on the socials, you and I did a bit of wrap-up of the Dixie Chicken
We
on day
did.
one. Yeah.
We did. Day 1 of the beef cattle short course. You said, quote, just go with it. And I was like, oh, okay. Okay.
And he did. He just went with it. We
Did you get any responses from that or anything? Did
look,
anybody hate me?
had someone called Mike from Alabama. He's a bit backwards. He's a bit hard to understand, but he added me on Snapchat. So shout out to Mike. Thanks for the ad, mate. Hope you don't ask any weird questions tonight. I don't know if I'm ready to.
Might have to edit that out, huh?
Yeah.
That's great.
But no,
I'm
mate, it's
leaving that
a
in.
pleasure to be here. We're really excited to be here and, talk ranching, talk farming in Australia. We share a common bond with cattle. So
Yeah.
it doesn't matter where we are. That's our common bond. And, beef is the best. And, we're very passionate about it. And,
Hey,
like I
your
said,
flag's red, white, and blue too, isn't it?
100% it is.
Come on.
We bleed the
love
red,
the
white, and blue too.
Yeah.
I love that red, white, and blue. And Loretta, y'all been married how long?
Will and I have been married about 18 months.
18.
18.
Do you only say, because you say 13, but you hit the T on the 18, or were you just bringing out the American accent there?
Oh, I'm not trying an American accent at all.
Okay.
No, I'm just trying to pronounce properly so that
Proper.
so that the Americans don't think Australians are bogan, I think. But
I love I need like a list of,
The saying.
of the sayings to, because I feel
decipher
like I got a
everything.
few. We always have a couple Aussies that like I grew up with Australian interns coming to the ranch and always learning the lingo. And I remember hearing one say something about like, yeah, it's time to get some tucka. And I was like, some what? And they're like,
Bit of
oh,
tucker, yeah,
sorry.
nothing
it's
wrong
time
with
to go
getting a
get
bit of
something to
tucker.
eat. Yeah, it's time to get something to eat. I was like, oh,
time to get tucker.
that was interesting. Okay.
We've got a good friend of mine that was groomsman in our wedding. Anyway, shout out to Kenny Coleman. I hope you're listening. He owns a stock feed shop in Charters Towers, our little hometown where I grew up. And his radio ad for probably the whole of my life has been, "Come on down, it's tucker time. Get your feet, it's cold."
tucker
The
time.
cattle, I got to remember it. Cattle knows when the Coleman's truck rolls in because it's tucker time.
I'm gonna have to call for some NIL money on that.
Yeah. So shout out Kenny Coleman.
I'll be calling. My lawyer will be calling Kenny. So 4 weeks in the States, and you're kind of wrapping that up.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, it's been an absolute whirlwind. We've covered a lot of country and seen a lot of things. We know we've missed things, but I guess that gives us all the better reason to come back.
You're gonna have to. I guess you're gonna have to come back.
I think we're running on. This is the 13th state we've been to.
Wow.
And just under 7,000 miles. So yeah, no, we've jam packed it and condensed it into America's best bits. But by far, the best part of it has just been able to meet some really nice characters. Like everywhere we've stopped and stayed, there has been an American person that's either influenced the next part of the trip from their advice, or have just been a whole lot of fun to hang out with on a night. So yeah, shout out to Americans because you've really made us feel welcome here, and
That's cool.
We love that, so we'll definitely be back.
That's cool. But yeah, let's go back. You said like we had the cattle connect us, right? So let's go to what y'all do in Australia right now.
Yeah, so Loretta and I come from a third generation cattle beef operation. So, I suppose we could strip it right back to the beginning for me, and then I'll cross over to Loretta and she can tell her past. But my grandfather and his brother, they fought in World War II over in New Guinea, so up against some American soldiers. And Australia and America have been great allies, whether it's been in beef or been in the war or just in general. So he was over in fighting in New Guinea, and when he came back, there was a government program which was called a ballot block. And in that ballot block, you pretty well had to be a serving member, and you could come back and put your name in the ring for an undeveloped piece of land that was cut off one of those mega stations, million-acre stations that were deemed to be pockets of that land were unproductive, so they were drawn to a soldier to give them a chance at ranching, at station life.
So after the war?
After the war,
Okay.
yeah. So after the war, he came home, battled along for a little while, put his name in the ballot, and drew our home block, which is Paynes Lagoon, which is just under 100 k's west of Townsville, which is up in North Queensland. So yeah, big Brahman country up there.
Yeah, so if somebody didn't know anything about Australia, it was like kind of top right center.
Yeah, top right. Not far off the coast.
Okay.
Very tropical, like humidity.
Yeah.
Sort of our climate is
A little more like the southeast of
Yeah,
New Orleans, like
yeah.
Louisiana, Mississippi,
Yeah, definitely. Just in that
Alabama.
Alabama. So that's where we grew up. So my grandfather drew that as a bare block. Had no money, had no cattle. He was the pretty well the ball game with that whole project is the soldier had to go and put a establishment on that being a homestead, and then in 5 years he had to have some sort of functional trading business working on that land. So he got up there. He sold. They had a little farm down at Monto in southern Queensland. The South Burnett region of Queensland, and packed everything up, packed the family up, moved them up to the great unknown of North Queensland, and pretty well got this block. Someone took a chance on him, gave him some real wild cattle. Because the banks wouldn't touch him, like he was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the banks didn't want anything to do with him, and this stock agent, took pity on him and gave him some cattle and said, "Righto, John, it's sink or swim. See how you go." And I don't believe in luck. I think hard work gets you luck. The harder you work, the luckier you get. And
That's right.
by golly, there was a lot of hard work going to that place to get it to where it is there now. So. My old man, he went away, went to college. He worked out west, like out Longreach, Winton, on sheep and cattle stations, and then went earth moving, which will probably roll into my story a little bit. Down in Brisbane Valley, helped develop a lot of that country, and then he bought a scraper and was going back home to dig some dams for my grandfather. And when he was at home, he sort of was at home a bit more, and then, just took over. And then, he took over from my grandfather. And now my little brother's up there with Dad. So, third generation on beef. And, loved it. It's just a great spot where we are. We are very lucky to have the type of country we've got there, and also have the ability to cow-calf operation, but also finish our own bullocks. So we do a full grass-fed program, sending Brahman bullocks to Japan on out of a JBS Jap Ox program. So all box beef to Japan is what our market is, and then any of our cull cattle go on a live export to Indonesia.
Wow, live cattle market.
Yeah, so we fit into the live cattle market there. So there's a big port in Townsville, and it's going to be quieter post-COVID. That whole, I mean, I don't have to explain. You guys are in the same boat as us. It just really threw a big spanner in everyone's works. Luckily for us, that drove the market up, and a lot of people could. The season went with us. The market went with us. We're starting to get into some record high prices. So, dare I say it, COVID was good for us in the cattle game. But come post-COVID, we just had this massive supply. And I mean, if you can break me down enough, we'll get into a bit of that with struggles Loretta and I have had. But I might go to Loretta because you'll be getting sick of me rambling on. But
so I grew up surrounded by agriculture and cattle as well. A little bit different scale, but my parents had a dairy farm in southern Queensland. So I grew up with dairy until I was about 12. And like a lot of dairy farms in Australia, you either had to go big or go home. There was a lot of deregulations in price and governance around the dairy industry, and unfortunately my parents had to give it away. We just didn't have the scale to go big. So we gave it away, but we've kept the same farm and now converted that to beef cattle. And my dad runs a commercial crossbred beef operation there now. He's second generation there.
Where's that at?
In southeast Queensland, sorry.
Okay.
About 2 hours west of Brisbane.
Nice. Okay, so sold the dairy cows.
Sold the dairy cows, but stayed on the same farm.
Stayed on the farm, got beef cattle.
Got beef cattle instead, yeah.
What cross is it? You said crossbred cattle.
Yeah, so we started out with Hereford and Santa Gertrudis cross was our main game. And over the years, that's sort of just with opportune buyers and a little bit of shift, I guess, in genetics and that sort of thing. Now it's probably more Angus and Hereford, sort of that black baldy.
Got some baldies in there.
Yeah.
And that's why y'all were kind of talking about the baldy cattle that you were trying to make. Weren't you trying to get a baldy bull or something? Or was that a Hereford?
When were we talking about that?
we're talking about getting rid of the black baldies.
Yeah, we're talking about getting
rid of them. Oh, maybe that's what it was.
But yeah, both of us aren't on our family properties now. Will and I manage a farm for another family, someone we didn't know at all until we took the job. We manage a farm now in central New South Wales. We're nearly right in the middle of the entire state of New South Wales, about 8 hours west of Sydney.
8 hours west. Okay. And that's where you both reside now?
That's correct.
Yeah, no,
Except
that's
for
right.
holiday.
Yeah.
Holiday when we're vacationing around the States.
Yeah.
So I suppose we better give a bit of a call out to our boss. So the family we work for, the Egan family, they employed us back in 21 and 22. Sorry, 22. So there was an opportunity for Loretta and I to go and cut our own way out, and we wanted to work together. And probably our family farms. Look, we could probably support it up north, but I still wanted to do a bit more with farming, and I did a bit of farming down on the Darling Downs.
Crop farming?
Crop farming.
Okay.
And we're just not crop farmers up in North Queensland. It's all cattle. So I really wanted to just go and do a little bit more and get that bug out of the system. And Loretta and I were working at my family's station ranch, and Dad pulled me aside one day and he goes, "What do you want to do?" I said, "Oh, want to do this, want to do that, want to, you know. He goes, you need to go and get out of your system, then come home. So more or less, Loretta and I sat down and worked it all out, and then the job with the Egan's came along, and we pretty well moved down there as co-livestock managers. So they have a fairly large, and what's their main part of the business is cotton, and then they do about 3,000 hectares, which is 7,500 acres of dry land.
I'm glad you did that.
We got to be careful here because it's sort of, we speak kilos, you guys are pounds. Like we've got to sort of work it out. But the dry land operation and the cotton operation have been there for priority since like they kicked off cotton back in the 70s. But funnily enough, it was a sheep and beef place right back at the beginning. So with a few changes in ownership of land, it was all a big place and bought and sold. And the family that's there now, they've 7 generations. They're looking to really ramp up the cattle enterprise. So that's where Loretta and I stepped in, and took over. So we adopted 120 Hereford cross Angus, sort of run of the mill mixed bag. And with their support and their trust in us, we've been able to grow that to sort of 400 to 500 black Angus cows. And then we do seasonal trading depending on the season. So we're running about 500 or 600 trade cattle at the moment on oats, and so they turned around and pretty well said to us, "Hey, you've been with us for 3 years." We do a lot of goal setting with them, which is something that's been really good for us as young people and working on a farm, because it puts some parameters on what we want to achieve.
Sure.
So that goal setting, one of our goals was we really wanted to come to the States. So we sat down for our performance reviews at the start of the year, and Ben said, "Righto, July, August, you're having it off. You're going on a vacation. We're going to give you that time off. No questions asked. Go and do what you want. But
awesome.
You should go to the States because you're probably not going to get this opportunity before kids." So, we're forever grateful for them for allowing us to do this. So, it's been one heck of a trip.
That's neat. And it is also neat, too. Like, there's a lot, similar to myself. Like, I grew up working here. I went to college. I worked for a few others for a short-term basis, but like after college, I came home. And so there's a lot of family operations that have only worked for family.
Yes, sir.
And now you get this opportunity to work as an employee, and get that before you go home. And there's not many of that in the family business.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And that was something like Dad was very keen on us doing. Like when we left school, it was go and do a trade, go and serve, or go to uni. Whichever the three, but you're not having a gap year. You're not mucking around. You're going to go and sort your lives out.
Mucking around, that's a good one.
Write it down.
You gotta go and sort your lives out, work out what you want to do. And like I went and did 4 years as a mechanic apprentice, and look, there's days where I pull my hair out because I fix a lot of gear on the ranch now.
Bet you do.
With that experience, but that really set me up for a successful ranch life, because that's a contractor we don't have to get. That's
that's huge.
That's you.
If we had an employer that was highly mechanically inclined, like that would be. If you're looking for a job on the Ari Brown Ranch, get mechanically inclined. If you're listening, sorry.
If you are listening, and Australia to America is not that far, and Qantas's doing good flights at the moment. So, So that background, and I can remember digging my heels in a little bit and saying to Dad, like, "Oh, I just want to go. I want to go to the territory. I want to go to the Gulf," which is like the, someone from California saying, "I want to go to Texas. I want to go and make it over there, and then I want to go ranching." Whereas we want to go bull catching in the Gulf. We want to go up to the territory. We want to go to WA. That's like the rough, tough, wild cattle country. Like
the Wild West. The
you
big
go into a
cowboy dream.
Yeah,
WA being Western Australia, the state of Western Australia.
Yeah. So that was what I always wanted to do. But looking back now, and probably something, if there's any young people on the listening to this, just go and do that college education, go and do that apprenticeship trade, because it's 4 years. Just smash it out and do what I did. Finish it and get out of there, and then go and do what you want to do, because those core skills you learn is being able to. So we started off as co-livestock managers, and I've taken over sort of as farm tool I see for the farm, and without that mechanical background and being able to come across to the cropping and all the rest of it, that just wouldn't have happened. So, yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, Mike kind of did
100%
that.
Agree. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'd say you did
I
that.
did it for plumbing.
Yep.
Went down to South Florida, got my certs for plumbing. It's the best thing that, I recommend everyone go into the trade, get a certs and, electrical, whatever it may be, because if, your family has an operation, that's saves you money at the end of the day. I mean,
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So,
And also, if there's ever a drama, like, I don't know, Loretta and I have often joked about it and said, if we needed to go and just get a job with like a high-paid career for a little bit, just to sort a few things out, I could go back on the tools.
Yeah.
You can always fall back to that.
Yeah.
safety net.
Yeah, you'd be
Yeah, that's
fine.
exactly right.
Well, I want to get into a couple of the different sayings that Aussies and Americans might have, to where we're like, I'll start by saying the first word, and you respond with what, and maybe we'll have to kind of try to translate to each other. But
This is going to be funny.
yeah, this can be good. And if
Do
you
you
have any,
want to go one for one, Loretta? You
Yeah,
go
we'll
first.
give that a go.
okay, yeah. So, like in Texas, what we would call what I work on, our place would be called a ranch. What would you call it?
A farm,
A farm.
for the most part, yeah. And if you run livestock specifically, you may be called a grazier.
A grazier,
Yeah.
like a grazer, or a graze.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
that's probably like the individual, but if like
Like
up
you
in-
run like a grazing operation.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
Yeah.
so a station, a ranch would probably be like a station.
a station.
Yeah.
That's probably where some of the Australia being some of the largest ranches in the world. Like what
Yeah,
you
so-
say, we were talking earlier. Some of those in WA or
Yeah, like they're running 2.5 million acres, and they're they're only running 10,000-15,000 cow calf, but they're
Only.
yeah,
only
yeah, I know.
10,000 cows.
But they're just their size.
Yeah.
Just the size and the quality of the country. You just can't run a massive amount of livestock on that. Whereas, wow, imagine if you had 1 million acres on the Panhandle.
Yeah, yeah. What you could do with that?
You'd be next door to Trump.
Yeah, you would. Yeah. Okay. Next word was, and this have just come from, and there may be some different sayings throughout Australia too. So, so what we would call a bedroll,
Oh, swag.
a swag.
Swag.
That was new to me. I remember.
I only learnt that one this last week.
Yeah. Did you
I'd never heard bedroll before.
bedroll?
Yeah.
I've got one for you guys.
Okay.
I reckon we can nearly go tit for tat.
Yeah,
on this
sounds
a little
good.
bit. Smoko.
Smoko.
So you said smoko?
Smoko. Do you know what a smoko is?
Barbecue?
No. It's like a mid morning break.
Morning tea.
Morning
Yeah.
tea.
Oh, your smoke break.
Well, that's what.
That's where it comes from.
Yeah, that's kind of where it comes from.
Smoko, yeah.
I like
But
that.
it doesn't mean necessarily that you smoke. It's
Yeah.
just like morning tea.
But
You
a
stop for
smoko,
a
from what I
coffee and a
understand,
biscuit.
I like that.
but a smoko is like, I don't know how long you would,
10 minutes?
Yeah, 10, 15 minutes type of thing.
but
Just
it's
a
like
short break.
very, like you take a smoko.
So there's a little bit of in the older generation, a smoko was always you boiled a billy of tea, like a quart pot. and you
Okay.
boiled your quart
I thought you were
pot.
talking about a goat. I was like,
No, no. So here we go. We've just rolled on to 5 more that you've never heard of in one
Need a
conversation.
translator.
yeah, a billy of tea. Okay, yeah, I get it.
So you have your quart pot, which was in your saddlebag, and when you're out mustering or bringing in cattle, you use roundup,
Gather.
yeah. You'd boil your quart pot or your billy, and make a cup of tea. And the general rule of thumb is you never added cold water or milk or anything like that. You drank it black, and then by the time you finished that hot drink, that was your smoko. That was
Okay.
the time. So you'll generally see like a lot of older cowboys back home. They won't put any additive into their into their
Just
tea
black
or
coffee.
coffee, and then the time it takes to drink that is the break.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
So would it for your place now that you're, the head herdsman? What time is smoko?
well, Loretta's the head herdsman, so
Okay.
Somewhere between like 10 a.m. and 10:30 type
Okay.
thing. Yeah.
it really depends on what we're doing though.
That's fair.
Like, yeah.
And then okay, so another one. So what we today, so we got to have a good time today. We went to go see the ranch,
Yes, sir, yeah.
the station. Went and saw the station. We came back and we cooked some steaks. And I cooked the steaks on the grill.
Yep. So barbecue.
You cooked it on the barbecue.
Cooked it on the barbecue or the smoker. I'd call that what you had.
Smoker.
The smoker. Yeah.
A smoko,
Smoker.
smoker. Okay.
Smoko, morning,
Got it.
smoker, either having a cigarette.
It's so
or you're
different. Yeah,
cooking
the
a
way you said it is
steak on
so different. It was the exact same. That's crazy. But you call
so
it, you're. But if you were to, just a regular grill instead of a smoker.
yeah, barbecue
It's on
or
barbecue.
Weber. So put it on
Weber.
the Weber. Go and cook it on the Weber.
I haven't
Weber,
heard that.
Brand of
Weber's a
grill?
big brand.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It's like it's
The
pretty.
Weber smoker.
I think that's what
Yeah.
mine is.
Yeah, I think so.
My other grill is that.
Or the
So
barbie.
shout out to Weber.
The
I actually
Bobby.
need a new
The
barbecue.
Bobby.
Shrimp on the bobby.
Well, that's actually that's not something we say at
Shrimp?
all.
So we made that
No.
up. American TV.
100% Americans have made
No
that
prawns on the bobby. Y'all don't
Yeah.
call them prawns?
Yeah, like we
okay.
call-
See, I know.
Yeah, yeah.
up. We know what
Okay.
you're talking about.
Yeah.
But we just do not say shrimp on the barbie. That is, let me
So-
clear the record. That's not a thing.
Shrimp on the Barbie was Crocodile Dundee, Paul Hogan. So when Paul was at the height of his fame, Shrimp on the Barbie was how he closed off the G'day USA ad campaign.
Oh wow.
So that was us as Australians after Crocodile Dundee. Hey, come to Australia, G'day USA. But he's like, chuck another prawn on the Barbie, and everyone was like when they obviously must have done like the taster of how does that sit with Americans. Everyone's like, yo, what's a prawn?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
We didn't even touch that.
Yeah.
Like a shrimp being.
A shrimp
Prawn.
being a prawn. So that's chuck another shrimp on the Barbie. Yeah. No,
we don't call them shrimps. They're prawns. Yeah.
That's crazy. Will you ever say Barbie?
Yeah.
Throw another
Barbie.
one on the Barbie.
Yeah, chuck it on
Come
the
around
Barbie.
on Sunday afternoon for
So what do you
Sunday
call the little-
arvo for a barbie.
Ava.
Come around
Arvo?
Sunday arvo afternoon.
Oh my goodness, I'm learning so
Oh
much.
my goodness. Yeah, we need a translator in here.
Right across
we
the
do.
road here, we've got a servo.
Yeah, that there is a
That's a
servo.
servo.
That's a servo. That's a gas station.
Well, if we're, I mean,
Yeah.
if you say the full word, it's a service station.
Sure.
Oh,
But
so
we
y'all
just
y'all
short-
shorten everything down.
Not everything.
What about you, Loretta? You've had a real grind on how you guys ride horses over here.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, go ahead. That was funny.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So you guys say horseback riding, which we just find that hilarious. Like you've got to say which part of the horse it is you're sitting on. I mean, like you're sitting on the horse's back, sure. So you got to say horseback riding.
Yeah.
And we just call it horse riding. Like we already know you got to sit on the back, so we just
just
get on
go
with it.
That is interesting. Yeah, because we'll say, are we going footback or horseback? Like that's how we would communicate whether we were working in the pens on
Yeah.
footback or on horseback. And I don't know why it's that way.
Yeah, so that like straight away you've just rattled off. Feed barn is feed lot.
Oh, the feed lot. Yeah.
Feed
What'd you
lot.
call it though? Feed barn.
No, you guys call it feed barn, don't you?
The feed barn.
Or you don't? You call
Yeah,
it
we'd
feed
say
lot?
feed lot.
Feed lot. Oh, there you go. So sale barn,
Sale barn.
sale yards. Us is sale yards.
Sale yard. Okay.
Like the market where we take our cattle to be sold,
Uh-huh.
an auctioneer and the ring and whatever. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
sale yard.
we'd call it the sale barn. Yeah.
Yep.
But see, barn is a very American term for us as well. Like if we said in our operation, like I'll meet you at the barn at 7 a.m., people would be like, "What are you trying to be American?" Like barn is not a thing. We would just call it like the shed or the work
Shed.
or the workshop. If
So
it's like where the tools are.
do y'all call yards gardens? Like your backyard, your front yard? Is that a garden?
No,
No,
not
backyard.
specifically. No.
No.
To
Okay.
us, a garden's just somewhere like a garden bed, like where flowers grow. But no, like the kids will go and play in the backyard.
Okay, so
You're
y'all say it.
embarrassing me.
I was just asking.
No.
English people say
Which
it
button
garden.
is that Sweet Home Alabama jingle come on? You know, like
Dixieland Delight, actually.
Yeah,
Ah, there it is.
that's the Alabama song. Is there anything else that's like we would say pasture,
Pasture, paddock.
paddock?
Yeah,
Mm.
paddock.
Yep, and field for probably more like a cropping point. So if we had a field of wheat in,
Yeah.
it'd be a field. Whereas
Some kind of crop field.
But we
Yeah,
put
that's
We
right.
put the cows out in the paddock. I mean, we do use the word pasture, but pasture is probably more so to describe it being grass, like grassland, rather than putting them on like a forage crop,
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
I think that'd be similar here. Like if you say field, it's something planted, whether it's Bermuda, even if it's a grazing, it is still type of like if it's planted, it seems to be called a field.
Yep. No, it's
So I
awesome.
think pasture or paddock would be like native grassland of some sort.
Yeah.
Is there have you sensed any of the like cowboy culture while you've been here?
Yeah, it's been really refreshing to see how much like Australia as a whole is a pretty new country. Like you want to break it down to like here's my history. So anyone
What
out
is it,
there
January-
don't hate,
January 24th or something? Is that the 20 what's Independence Day?
26.
26th. Oh, I should have done my
Yeah,
math.
26th of January, Australia Day. That's that was in 1901,
Okay.
I believe.
Question mark?
Yeah.
It's a date. If someone gets it wrong, we go and check it, then we come back and work it out.
yeah.
But yeah, so as a country, but we're over there in the 1800s. We're still a fairly new country, so a lot of your culture we've translated into Australia and just gone. Without sounding rude, we've taken the best parts of your culture and the best parts of the European culture and sort of mashed that into our own culture. And that's why Australia is Australia, because it is its own culture, it's its own lifeblood. Like we're very passionate about Australia, but it's the best parts of a lot of different cultures coming together. So like coming over here, we've seen a lot of similarities, but we've also seen a lot of big differences. But you can also nearly see the grassroots of where we've taken our culture from,
Okay.
which has been really cool. Like it's really nice, and I got to respect the cowboy culture over here. Like you guys have your rodeo schools, your rodeo colleges. The support, and we didn't get to go behind the chutes at Cheyenne when there was a rodeo on there, but sitting right near them, you could just see everyone there, the morale, and there's a lot of that same. Like you ask some young cowboys over in Australia, you see a lot of morale around that, and yeah, it just seems to be totally amplified over here, which is really cool.
Well, this is going to take us to one of my favorite segments of the podcast. This segment is called the Ag Gear Hot Seat. And the Ag Gear Hot Seat brought to you by Ag Gear, Ag Gear, of course, which of course we're wearing Ag Gear. And these questions, we're going to be throwing these questions at you. The seat might get hot because y'all aren't wearing Ag Gear. But Ag Gear keeps you cool, and that's why you go to Ag Gear and use discount code Tucker Brown. You get some Ag Gear to wear for yourself.
I'm gonna have to get one of those shirts. We do not have the Pearl Snap Golf shirt.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I've bought I think I actually do have I might have an Ag Gear one in my bag that I've bought. Yeah,
It's good
yeah.
stuff. I was wearing one
it's
yesterday.
Beautiful. Yeah, particularly in
love
this
this
heat.
shirt.
I reckon it'd be perfect.
Yeah, it is.
So
Okay.
Ag Gear, if you want to send some to Australia,
Hey,
we could do
What's
a
up?
might have to get y'all connected.
look after a brother here.
Is it? I'm going to start by saying this. Here in the States, it's kind of like you don't ask how many cows someone has. Would it be the same in Australia?
Yes, you asking how many cattle there is like asking how much money's in their bank.
Agreed. Okay.
Yep.
So we're going to X-nay that question. How good is kangaroo meat?
That's
wanna
Sweet
answer
Home
this?
Alabama, but I reckon we need to
Alabama.
get that again.
Do you want to answer this one, Will, or me?
You go, Loretta, you go.
Kind of already did at dinner, but go ahead.
It's more common to see kangaroo meat used in dog biscuits than it is to be eaten for the large majority. And
Yum.
Will was talking about this with somebody else on this tour, but there's a lot better meat out there to eat, so we just choose not to mostly.
I think
It's
that's
all
fair.
right, but it's very lean and
Yeah,
pretty.
whoever asked that question, golly.
It's a real rich meat. It's sort of a lot like venison. Like,
Yeah.
Deer meat.
yeah,
Strong
deer meat.
taste, very lean.
Very,
Gamey,
very
Sounds
gamey.
like I would enjoy
Yeah.
it.
gamey and lean.
If you cook it the right way, though, I have been told
You
in
put
the
it in mustard.
yeah, I have been told in the older generation in Australia that if they cook it properly and consume just enough of it, puts a little bit of spring in their step.
There's a little spring in their step. That took me a second. It took me you doing the
How much
eyes at
whiskey's
me.
in that Cortiva cup there?
Yeah. What is the difference between a station and a ranch? Which we kind of covered that.
We did cover that, but ranch and stations are one and one and in between. I think it's just how we call it. Like what Loretta was saying, a farm would probably be more described as an operation that has cropping, but we'd call ourselves farmers because we do the three enterprises all on one place:
row crop
row crop, dry land,
and
and cattle. And the beauty about those ones is generally when one of them's quiet, the other two are really busy.
what? This is kind of a loaded question. It's going to be really gray. What is your terrain like, and what's the most popular type of agriculture?
The terrain is Australia's we're pretty lucky to have a little bit of everything. Yeah, we've literally got desert, we've got hot and humid tropical, we've got rainforest, we've got ocean. So we're pretty lucky that we've got so much, and obviously some enormous mountains and some big plains as well. So we've literally got a little bit of everything, I think. We've got country that gets covered in snow and other parts that would never snow. We get sort of the tropical cyclones, which is similar to a hurricane, and those sorts of things. So there's a little bit of everything from a terrain perspective, and soil colours and types as well. So that allows us to grow a lot of different things as well. So I could nearly say there's some of everything growing or getting produced in Australia.
Yeah.
For the most part, but the largest sector is a pretty big question. I mean, there's the saying that Australia was built on the back of on a sheep's back. So for a very long time, sheep and the wool industry absolutely held the forefront of agriculture in Australia.
Like it formed one of our government parties, like the Labor Party in Australia was based on the back of sheep.
Wow.
shearers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's evolved a lot since then, but and yeah, sheep's probably not the largest anymore, but for a very long time, sheep and wool, merino sheep would have absolutely held the forefront. At a guess, without looking it up, probably beef.
I believe the biggest industries in Australia. Okay, in the top 5, I know 3 of them are agriculture, tourism, and mining.
What would be the largest in agriculture though? Probably beef.
I'd like to say beef. Hang on, I've got some quick facts here. I looked up.
Got some quick facts.
I know Australia is one of the world's largest beef exporters. So we actually export 70%.
That's a lot.
Of
That
our
is a lot.
of our cattle. So a lot of that goes to Brazil, the States, Japan, South Korea, China. They're like, I think we're going to touch on this a little bit down
Yeah.
the line about the beef section of this podcast. But yeah, that's
If you make it through the hot seat.
we got to make it through the
Yeah.
hot seat. It's on. I'm on fire over here. Industry. Hang on, what have I got here? So the beef industry contributes about $20 billion. And it supports 50,000 jobs. So that's a bit of a ballpark of what we do.
You got that one.
All right.
So yeah, I'm not sure where beef as an industry, but agriculture, which incorporates your cotton, your grains, your beef, your sheep. It's
up there.
I'd put my money on it's in the top 3.
It makes sense.
Yeah, and like that's something I struggle with is the average day folk in the big cities. They need to remember that,
Same here.
you take away that mining and you in your COVID, why do you think agriculture took off in COVID?
Yeah.
We all needed to eat.
Yep.
So
Fair.
you take away tourism, you take away like those things, agriculture is still there. So, yeah, I think that I'm going to get on my horse here.
Oh,
and
here he
say-
goes. Here he goes.
Yeah, the hot
He's
seat.
getting
I'm
real
gonna get
hot.
real hot. But, you know, agriculture needs to be forefront in a lot of discussions because, yeah, it is something that is so important. We've all got to eat. We all need to know what that farm to table story is.
Fair.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm really happy to see that some of these smaller smaller producers, but these families are going out there and really selling this, like what you guys are doing with the R.A. Brown ranch story and
Yeah.
promoting, and you know that's something we'd really like to strive towards because we've got nothing to hide in agriculture. What you see, you might like, but we've got nothing to hide.
Agreed.
Like we're out there working from dusk till dawn to make sure that the consumer has something on their plate every day. You might like how we do it, but we've got nothing to hide from it. And if you can come up with a better way or a more humane way of doing it, hey, I'll give you my number because there is not one good producer out there that would not like to do it in a better way.
Agreed.
So,
Clip that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
Clip that.
it's true. Like you sit there and you see people like they see you guys with your rope and cattle and that to brand them, and we were talking about interns and staff. You don't do that every day. Like that's part of the cowboy role. That's part of the job, but it's not every day. It's everything else that goes on those farms, and we probably don't surround ourselves with people that do it the backwards way because we want to be in the top 10, 5% of producers that do a good job of the article they produce. So, yeah. Sorry, I'm
That
on
was
my high
good.
horse.
That was
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Very good.
That was good.
So
All
I
right,
got
you got
one.
next.
So shout out Farmer Fran
Froberg.
Froberg.
Farmer Froberg.
Was it?
Farmer Froberg.
Oh, Farmer Froberg.
Tyler Froberg. You met him
Yeah,
at the
that's
Rancher
right. That's
Strong.
right. I forgot what the name was on
Yeah,
there.
you're good.
What is camel milk and how is it?
Camel milk.
Have you ever had camel milk, Will?
Oh, I'm lactose intolerant, so look, there's been a few times where I reckon in those Western coffee shops, times are a little tough and there's not a dairy to be seen for a lot of miles. And
It was either kangaroo or camel, but one
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
two.
I'll
the
answer
soy
that.
milk was questionable, I can put it that way.
Well, speaking of soy milk, I mean, at least camels have teats, so it's a good start.
That's
but,
true.
I've had camel milk before.
Really?
It's pretty watery is probably a good term for it. But I have to say, of the camel products I've had, camel milk ice cream is amazing. I don't know what,
Whoa.
Really?
which is strange because obviously ice cream is usually creamier. And yet the milk on its own is pretty watery, but then camel milk ice cream is amazing of the stuff I've tried anyway.
Wow.
Yeah.
You amaze me every day, babe. Like
Look at him go.
I'm full of
camel milk ice cream.
I'm full of surprises.
You sure it just wasn't ice cream and you hadn't had it for a while? Or?
No.
Yeah, I would think most Americans wouldn't know that there is a feral camel problem
Oh yeah.
in Australia.
Feral.
Yeah, there's quite a lot, particularly in Central Australia and in those desert regions in the central part. Yeah, they've got to go through culling programs and stuff
That
to
is
try and keep the numbers
ridiculous.
down. They're
They were actually brought in to control the prickly acacia. So I don't know if you guys have that over here, but it's.
I don't know if I don't understand. I don't know if I didn't understand what you said or if I'd never heard of that before.
So you know how you guys have your mesquite.
Yeah.
We've got something similar in the central areas, prickly acacia.
Okay.
Oh.
It's a weed, like it's a shrub pest. So yeah, goats and camels were sort of introduced to. Not so sure on the goats, but I know camels were brought in to try and control it
Wow.
because they would eat it.
And then the camels went.
yeah.
Camels went rogue. Camels were doing that.
Camels went
Yeah.
rogue.
They went rogue.
That is ridiculous. All right, next
We
question.
didn't
So
have
this
the
was a
we didn't have the pink
cicada?
cicada.
Acacia. How do you pronounce that word?
Prickly acacia.
Acacia.
Prickly acacia. All right. I'm gonna look that up.
Sounds like a pretty wild Mexican drink. You're gonna have
It does.
Acacia.
It does.
Acacia.
It really does. Have you ever been to war with emus?
Yes. The Great Australian Emu War is 100% a historical event.
Have
Wait.
you ever heard of this?
No. Go ahead.
So,
All ears.
obviously emus are a native animal and they're part of our coat of
Are
arms.
they? They're native to Australia.
100%.
Yeah, they're the two that sit on our flag, like on our coat of arms. Kangaroo, emu.
Really?
They are they're two of Australia's most prominent native animals for
And
sure.
you went to war with
And
them.
so, what did our government do?
They went to war.
We went to war with them.
Takes a whole new meaning to civil war, I think, when we're taking on our own native animals.
Yeah,
But
so we don't talk about the Australian Civil War as much as you guys do, but it was against emus.
Yeah.
No, in all seriousness, they pretty well just became so invasive. They were everywhere. They were causing major issues. We're talking. I can't remember what years this is, but it's a while ago now. It's well and truly probably in like our grandparents'
Y'all
era.
win?
You think
For
I can ask?
some reason, I think it was between 1 and 2, like World War 1 and 2. Don't
Oh, yeah.
quote me on that.
Yeah, so sort of our grandparents' era, when our grandparents.
You know what
were
the
young,
wild
but
thing about this is, Mike? It is they won.
The
That's
emu,
what- yeah.
One.
The
the emus
won.
won. There is more. At that time, there was
You had more deaths. Human
no,
deaths.
no, not necessarily that, but
Oh.
destruction mainly. Like the emus there was more emus than people, and they're just really destructive. They just took out fences and like
Oh my
ate all the
God.
grass and like as in took the vegetation.
They
So,
were holding up servos left, right, and centre.
but
Oh, listen
They
to
were
this.
taking babies from tents, you know.
cut that.
Yeah.
This is Chat GPT. It's pretty good. The Australian Emu War took place in 1932.
There you go.
It was a real and slightly ridiculous military operation in Western Australia where soldiers tried to reduce the emu population and damaging crops. But the big thing is the emus won.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm actually good on you. We've nailed our.
You did. You
We're
nailed
getting
it.
there, yeah.
Yeah,
So there's
yeah.
still a
Nailed
lot of emus, and we've got emus on the property that we manage now. They're not nearly a big issue. They're not a big issue, really. I mean, they damage a bit of crop and probably eat a bit of the vegetation that we'd much rather go into our cows, but they're not that big of a deal
Their
now.
eggs
The-
pretty good, like scrambled eggs, scrambled emu eggs.
Have you seen the size of an emu egg?
I
Dude,
know
they would eat
ostrich
you
are pretty
alive.
big.
Yeah, yeah.
They're
big.
pretty big.
So
I
that's
don't know what that would
Loretta, I
nice
think you
scrambled
need
egg.
to. I know we're in the hot seat, but Loretta's got a really good story about an emu egg that came home.
Oh. Well, we're in the hot seat here.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
just end.
She was in the
uh,
hot seat of our relationship when
good
she
job.
brought this egg.
Well, that was your Ag Gear hot seat. Go to Ag Gear and use discount code Tucker Brown. Shout out for that. All right. So we have a story about an egg. Let's get to this.
So the story about the emu egg. So there's a thing that's somewhat common, I suppose, in Australia. It's if you find an emu egg nest, which even in itself is pretty hard to come by because naturally they try to build these nests that stop you from finding the eggs. But if you find a nest, you can collect these eggs, and if you're super careful with a hand drill, you can drill out the top and bottom, get the contents out, and some people actually carve into the eggs as artwork or paint the eggs
Oh, I've
eggshell.
seen that before.
Yeah. Anyway, I
Don't quote me. I think it's like an old Aboriginal. Is it Aboriginal? That might have been part of their artwork. Australians don't quote me on this, but I think there could have been some tie back there.
Anyway, I came across an emu egg nest one day, and I was like, this is my chance, because like I said, you don't see these nests very often. And I brought this egg home, and I had it sitting on our outside table where we put our boots up. And I didn't get to it for a while, and I was like, oh no, I'll get there on the weekend and I'll drill this egg out nice and carefully and just see how it go. I've never done it before, but anyway, it sat on this table outside our house for about 3 weeks. Like I said, I was intending on getting to it, and it exploded, and the chick inside was obviously long gone, and hence why I'd found the egg, because the emu eggs are actually raised by the father. As soon as the female emu lays them, she disappears and she goes on her merry way, and It's the daddy emus that sit on the nest and raise the chicks.
Wow.
Our emus are actually equal opportunity over there.
Oh, good for them. Good. Wow. Yeah.
Anyway, so
Progressive. Very progressive. Yeah.
Yeah. Like Australia's leading the forefront.
anyway, back on the emu eggs. So they can tell even well before they hatch whether an egg's like rotting on the inside or not. Like if the chick's not going to make it,
Yeah.
they kick the egg out of the nest even before it hatches.
Oh, wow.
Hence why I found this egg, because it was kicked out of the nest and it was kind of obvious out in the paddock. And I just thought it was really cool until it exploded and the stench was.
Oh, I bet it was terrible.
Oh yeah,
Oh, mate.
the worst rotten egg smell you've ever smelled in your lifetime.
Have
is
you,
that
have
by
you
10.
seen Ted, the movie Ted?
Yeah. Yeah.
With the bear.
With the bear, the little bear. So, you know, when Ted goes into, they're going through a bit of a relationship drama and then they come home from a nice date and Ted's sitting on the couch with three
Yep.
women of the night. We're a
ladies.
professional podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Three ladies. I don't know what they're doing. I think they're hanging out playing I'm not sure.
Playing poker. Yeah.
Playing poker, yeah. Anyway, and someone, I don't know whether it was the bear or one of the women playing poker, decided to lay a cable on the floor.
Oh yeah.
So
Wait, what?
that was the
Don't remember that
reaction.
part?
That was the reaction we got when I came home for lunch, and here's this egg that's exploded all over our front patio, like our front veranda. I'm like,
On the house.
yeah, and I'm hiding behind the front door, and Loretta's out there trying to clean up because I didn't bring that stupid emu egg.
You get it. You gotta get that.
You gotta get that. I ain't touching that. That is not on my to-do list.
That's
That,
I bet that was terrible.
oh, mate,
I bet that was awful.
it was unreal. But it's one of those things that really bring a relationship together.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to do that now. I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, if you see an emu egg, bring it home.
I gotta get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta get it. Wild camels and emus, and there's a dingo fence.
There sure is. It's the longest. It's the longest fence in the entire world. That's fact.
That's fact.
Yeah, and
She's
there's
confident. She's confident.
That was very confident.
I've
yeah.
just been
I believe
believe-
it. I don't even
yeah.
want to say no.
so they literally built this fence and it goes through Central Australia, more like from east to west. And yeah, it's don't quote me, but it's something like 5,000 kilometers long.
Yeah, so that's
Two
like
point
three
two.
and a bit thousand miles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And there's a handful of people that are employed to literally just drive along it and full time maintain it.
It's like border control.
Pretty much,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It keeps the dogs out, and it's very effective. We to the south of it, there is like no dingoes.
Was that a government?
Yeah, that was
Deal?
a government initiative. So I actually worked on a ranch that was it was split in half with the
Ooh,
fence.
that'd be tough.
Yeah, so we so the place I was working on is a big mixed farm. I want to say similar to us, but it's not really similar because they are a lot bigger. Like they were running 75,000 acres of a cow calf and also another 30, 40,000 acres of cropping as well. So wheat, and yeah, the cattle wasn't too bad because it was just there was a set of yards on that side and there was a set of yards on this side. So you ran it. Cattle were over here or cattle were over there, and you just took cattle to those sets of yards.
Gotcha.
Which you guys call them yards over here? Like
Pens
pens?
to the pens.
Yeah, took them to the pens. So we'd take cattle to yards either side of that fence, but when we were doing harvest, we would have to go to these massive gates and either take the fronts off the headers and march them through little gates, or we had these massive big gates that had big drop fences and a winch to shut the gate. Because it was a, 8-foot fence, and then it had an apron so the dogs couldn't dig under.
Dig under, yeah.
Yeah, and that was like just you'd be shifting paddocks at midnight, and you just go, oh no. The economist would come back and say, yeah, the next paddock to go is, or the farm foreman would be like, the next paddock to go is through the
Across
fence.
the fence.
So
Oh.
here we all are at midnight walking headers or walking planters or whatever out to that next pasture, to that next field. And yeah, you just feel like, rattle, drop the fence. Yeah, sit there. And you literally had to put it in
Crank it.
and crank it and winch it all back up.
Wow. That's different. The dingo fence. Do you know about the dingo fence?
But learning about you guys and your barbed wire, so we went to
Paladura Canyon.
last night up just south of Amarillo,
Mm-hmm.
and learning, learning about the barbed wire debacles back when cattlemen were running Texas.
Yeah.
Like that was really cool history for us because, the whole barbed wire thing, you'd use barbed wire every day.
Mm-hmm.
We use barbed wire every day. Like we take it for granted.
We do.
But you look at what our ancestors had. Like there was a political debate to have barbed wire on your farm, on your ranch.
Yes.
Like that really sort of, that's where we're coming back from, those culture things. Like we came into Australia and you guys had already had those arguments. You guys had already developed it. And then we got to take those technologies on. And yeah, that's probably touching on what I was trying to say earlier is, without you guys going through a lot of heartache and your ancestors going through that heartache, we wouldn't have that technology to just go and grab off the shelf. So
Right.
so shout out to the old guys.
Come on.
Yeah.
They had to go through it.
Yeah. Like it
In which, in
seems-
that time, they were also kind of battling the Indians, the native Indians at the same time, too,
Yes, sir,
especially here
yeah.
in Texas. And then the Paladura Canyon, same thing.
Yeah. Like
That was a wild time.
No, just things like we went to credit alliance or credit company, farm credit company, and learning about how that was all structured. We're very much still go to a brick and mortar bank to do our financials in Australia, and one trouble that we've found in my family's farm is we had a bank manager for 30 years where that relationship just stayed on and on and on, and we could go to him and just say, hey, we've just done this, we need the money, and it was just underwritten, it was just done.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas that personal relationship now is just not the same. And I won't go mentioning names because I'm not about, like, things move and times change and maybe we should just do it. But that has been one thing I've seen in our industry that's changed a lot is, that personal connection in our game has started to sort of probably slip a little bit. And, we were very much growing up on a handshake agreement is
Worth a lot.
is gospel,
It's
really.
worth it, right.
It is. It's like you shake your hand, and that is the deal. You don't back out on. You don't turn out. You get a better offer. No, you and I had an agreement. That's what it is. So,
And I think it was the same way here. And maybe an interesting point I heard the other day was there's more. The population of Texas is larger than Australia, but Australia is, what'd you say, 2.5 times bigger, 3 times?
So there's 3 and a bit land sizes of Texas.
Yeah.
In just Queensland.
And just Queensland.
Yeah.
That's even crazier.
whereas America has 50 states, and I think you guys might have us just a little bit over on land size, but
Pretty similar.
Australia's land mass fits into the same of America, and we've got 7,
States.
7 states.
Yeah.
But it's still, Texas has a larger population than Australia, which is why you have to export, 70% of your beef on this massive, but you have the huge desert also in the middle that's a little less productive. But this massive land mass has a population of 20-something million.
26, I believe, Australia's
26 million.
Yeah.
But we've even noticed that on this trip, just how populated it is.
Yeah.
Like we could drive literally hours and maybe pass through one little town in central and rural Australia. As with here, you feel fairly central and rural for what we would understand, and yet, you're going through a town or a city every half an hour or more.
Yeah.
With driving, and it's just been different. It's been different just to see like what the difference is in a larger population for sure.
That would be different. So I want to move into what's the right way to say it? The beef politics of Australia. I mean, you already mentioned it that Australia exports 70% of its beef. That is huge.
Yeah, massive for us.
What's the difference? Let's go real quick on some points that are differences in the beef production or the end product of Australia and America.
Yeah, so touched on it there before. So we export 70% of our beef. So we rely on a lot of countries to support us in our beef. So we, in the northern scheme, we probably use hormones in that Brahman type cattle to get the production value out of it. Whereas in our southern country, we don't run hormones. It's very much
Hormone implants.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hormone implants. So in our southern country, so you pretty well, if you drew a line from, there's going to be people probably argue with me on this, but if you drew a line from Rockhampton across the country, which is on the equator, anything north of that is probably...
No, not the equator, darling.
Not the equator, the Tropic of
Tropic of
Capricorn.
Capricorn.
Sorry. That's why
Same thing,
I
same thing.
married Loretta. She keeps me
There
in
you
check.
go,
Keeps
there
me
you
in check. Everything above that is a lot of Brahman content cattle,
Yeah.
because it is that subtropical, that real climate, climate that supports that breed. And for people like my father, who, you know, we still got to run a business, hormones are a big player in that. But when you get sort of south of that, they're used in feedlots and things like that. But our black cattle market, we don't have much of a market when it comes to implanting cattle. So what I'm probably trying to get at is even though there's that massive split, that northern job, you know, like the box beef that comes out of the north, you know, it's still going out to Japan. It doesn't go on the domestic market, whereas down where we are, a lot of cattle are fed for like in 70, 90, 100-day grain jobs to go into our domestic market. A lot of those are just flatbacks. They just, Coles and Woolworths just want a flatback article.
Flatbacks.
So flatbacks, which is normally like a Euro cross.
Anything that's not a boss indigus.
Oh, okay.
No hump, just flatback.
Okay. So got some European or some English.
Yeah.
Euro
cattle.
and British
Yeah.
breeds.
Yeah. So any of those cattle,
Flatbacks. I've never heard them called
flatbacks.
that. Huh.
Yeah. So anything that's flat across the back.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, okay. No hump. Okay.
yep.
Took me a second. Yeah. Sorry.
So a lot of them will get fed for the domestic market, going to our Coles and Woolworths jobs, and a lot of that market's wrapped up by a lot of good producers, and then everything else has got to hit the international market. So when you were talking about your politics, you know, like there's been a big tariff rearrangement with your government coming in. I can appreciate probably what Trump's administration, Trump himself, is trying to do with keeping things homegrown and American made. And hey, Australia, if this is not a wake-up call that we probably should try and do a little bit of that and support the production in Australia as well, I don't know what is. But I think America, and I say this as politically correct as I can, America needs Australian beef to be able to keep your industry alive.
Yes.
Like, your biggest market, as much as everyone loves having a ribeye on the barbecue, is your ground beef.
Huge market.
Huge market. Like your McDonald's, your Wendy's.
It's over 50%. Like, even though it doesn't make any sense.
Yes, sir.
It's
yeah.
it's over 50% of the United States market is the 90 lean. So like 90% lean, 10% fat.
Yeah,
We
that's-
don't produce that here in the States.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And credit to American beef. Like, American beef has gone from a lot of grinder beef to good quality to, you know, what I've learned over here, your choice, your prime.
Yeah.
And hey, credit to every producer that listens and is out there. You know, that's awesome that you've lifted your market into that. But you've got to also remember that you've got that market, that ground beef market. And when you've
Huge
got the
market.
likes of Australia, that, so I did some quick figures. You guys are obviously in a pretty historical high. And
On the cattle market.
On the cattle market
Yeah.
side. And we are in a bit of we're not in a low, we're on the rise because we generally follow the American trend with our beef price. But I'm probably going to say a figure that's going to scare you guys, and this is what I'm saying about we can afford to grind our beef and
Okay.
take your market, not away from you, but to fill your market. And,
Yeah.
and people are going to go, oh, hang on, that's still the same quality. So some people work off the Eastern Young Cattle Indicator. I like to look at the National Young Cattle Indicator, which is just a good middle of the road that's what the price trends are doing. So I've converted it into US dollars and pounds per kilo. So at the moment, a 7 and 8 weight steer in Australia is making $1.49 on the 100 or $1.49 a pound.
Okay.
And in America, in Junction City the other day, you guys hit a record, or that sale barn or yard hit a record of $4 a pound, or 400 100 weight. So
on 6 weight,
seven, eight weights.
7, 8
steers.
weights. Okay.
Yeah, which would be like what we produce. We hit that, heavy feeder steer market. So
Yeah, big
we
difference.
we are selling our cattle for $149 a hundred for that 7, 8 weight.
Crazy
And
difference.
by the time that gets fed, we've got an oversupply of grain at the moment, so they're going through feedlots and getting a lot of weight put on them and then processed, and then being a bit of a backlog of cattle and freezer boxes across the country. We can sell that to America and get it in here fairly cheap, and not because we want to start any trade wars or anything like that, but that is helping you guys, because you guys blend it with your shortage of lean beef
Ground. Mm-hmm.
and blend it up, and then you can retain that ground beef market as US beef.
Yeah.
So I think the take home out of all of that is Australia and America need to work together on this and sort out these tariffs, because it's good for us and it's good for you guys. And I don't know what the listeners' preferences are on where they want to get their beef from, but Australia is the same story as you guys. We are selling our beef. We have got good clean beef. We're doing everything we can to make sure that everything's Mickey Mouse with our operations as well. We're not backyard operations. We're family run. We're even if they are corporate shows, there is still a family that lives on that farm that runs those cattle. So, we can't get caught up with thinking these corporation farms either have lost their touch, because there is still a family on that farm running those cattle.
Yes. Multiple family, probably.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. And what I've learned in this corporate space too is sometimes you can get a bit lost in numbers, but the good ones, they look after their staff. And they give a lot of the young people working for those two get a lot of good opportunities. So I don't know, Taylor. Like it's.
I mean, the states are setting at all-time high beef demand.
Yes, sir.
With all-time low cattle, not all-time low, the lowest numbers of cattle since we've had in the 1950s.
Yeah.
We still are producing. Our cattle are bigger. Way bigger than they were in the 1950s, way more efficient, producing way more beef with less, fewer resources, but still we're short.
Yeah, that's right. So,
and that's why trade is a good thing.
Take on Australia and let us give you good, clean beef.
Yeah.
Because we're selling the same message as you guys.
Yeah.
Like, our beef is clean, it's wholesome, it's, it's family. And like I said, it doesn't have to be family produced, but it is good, clean beef.
Mm-hmm.
Let us help you, and then when we have a shortage, let's work on that.
Yeah, I feel like Australia kind of got caught in the crossfire with what Trump was doing with every other country, and not just. I mean, I think that would just.
Yeah,
from the American term, it's like, wait, why hasn't Australia been taking our beef? Which you are now, brand new thing.
Yeah, but it's.
But you're already exporting 70% of your beef. It's not like you're.
Yeah.
It's not like you need more.
Yeah, and it's not like we don't want US beef. Like, I have not had a bad steak since I've been here, and I can guarantee not one of them was an Australian steak.
Yeah, probably not.
But the eating quality, the taste, the flavour, actually, I'm a bit of a larrikin. I like taking the mickey out of you guys, like that's taking the cheek.
Yeah.
And saying, oh, it must be Australian beef. It's pretty bloody good. But.
Which we did. We got to have some steaks right before this.
Yeah. And the beef short course, we got to have that rib.
The prime rib.
That prime rib is bloody beautiful. And, you guys should be proud of the beef you are producing, because it is top notch. And if we can support you on that, yeah, let's not sit here and fight about tariffs. Let's just say, hey, let's work together.
Mm-hmm.
You guys need our beef when you're short. Look, we're not going to buy a lot of your beef because we just don't have the numbers of people.
Yeah.
But that's okay. That's just how the cookie crumbles. But if you want to keep your ground beef markets and keep other countries out, you need us.
Yes.
So,
And I'd sure rather it come from Australia than Brazil or
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Chile or
but that is the problem you're facing right now. Is don't get upset that we're not importing a lot of your beef because you guys are struggling to feed yourselves.
Yeah.
We've got us covered.
Yeah.
But let's work together on that whole beef story because at the end of the day, as ranchers, we want to make sure that the consumer has the right taste, the right flavour and consistency. They want to be able to go to Walmart or H-E-B or any of those stores and they go and pick up a rib fillet or an economy steak or a flank steak or a New York strip. They want to be able to pick that package up and have the same experience they had last time.
Yep.
And I think Australian beef helping the American beef can do that.
How is you said you learned about the prime and the choice. Is there anything similar to that in Australia as far as beef quality or like marbling scores or anything like that?
Yeah, there is. So we've got the MSA standard, which is just Meat Standards Australia, and it's similar. We use different wording than sort of your levels of marketing of your select prime choice type wording, but yes, same idea. So it goes off ribeye, size, colour, like intramuscular fat. Yeah, all pretty similar, just with different wording.
Interesting. And most, I'm going to say this wrong. From what I understand, there is a lot of lean meat coming from Australia. Would that correlate to a lot of grass-finished cattle?
Yeah, definitely. I actually got a figure of that now. Hang on. Give me a second here.
You got any Aussie questions?
So, righto. Put it this way. I threw in
got
a
a
chat
few,
GPT. So, I love chat GPT. I reckon it's great in the fact that starting like roughing out, like, when you're doing a job and you rough it out first and you have those sketches and you rough it out.
Yep.
That's what I use chat GPT for.
Yep, fair.
I use chat GPT to just rough things out.
Yeah.
So I asked it, I said, what is 5 facts about the Australian beef industry that Americans don't know? And number 5 was Australia's beef is grass-fed and hormone-free. Now, I know that's wrong because we do a lot of feedlotting and we do a lot of, like we were saying, north of the line, we do a lot of HGP, like we call them HGPs, but hormones.
Wait, what? Yeah.
But
right. We talked about that. The HGP, which stands
hormones, HGP, hormone growth promoting.
for? Okay, HGP. Yeah.
You got your Revolors and your CompuDoses
Yep.
and those sort of things. But the what sort of came up underneath it was probably more true. A significant portion of Australian beef is grass-fed, which is highly valued in export markets for its leanness and natural production methods. Hormone-free and organic options are increasingly in demand. And from what I can gather in America right now is because the quality of your cattle and the quality of your beef has come up and they're coming up from those select and choice and they're going into prime country. That grass-fed finished article that we can nail with our Brahman and tropical cattle that aren't, massive marble-scored cattle and marble-scored meat, we can fit that market that gets ground and gets, and also our older cattle. We can fit that grinder beef market and just keep you guys as the lead in grinding beef production.
Yeah.
But also give us a place where we can send our grass-fed cattle. And I don't know, grass-fed cattle, and this is probably pretty cool, pretty debatable, but I honestly believe grass-fed cattle have a better taste. Like there's definitely a difference. You don't get the buttery finish like you do on a grain-fed article. I don't think there's anything wrong with grain-fed cattle. if you put a grain-fed and a grass-fed steak in front of me, I'm probably going to have the grass-fed steak, but that's just personal preference, and that's what I grew up on.
Sure.
That is a personal opinion,
Yeah.
but I've got nothing against either of them because I know there's been a family or a young person or someone along the line that has helped
On that side of it.
on that animal's life, their journey.
The good thing is like, I love that both America and Australia are free. So like you have that right to be wrong, to choose the grass fed.
Yeah, that's right.
You-
I see.
That's coming. She's coming around.
It's
I
been,
was getting there.
you know what has been refreshing, and this is going to be controversial. Can I be controversial on this
Do it.
podcast?
I love it.
The Australian Brahman industry is feedlotting their bulls way too much.
Say it again. The feedlot.
The bull industry,
The bull
particularly in Brahman cattle,
Okay.
are feedlotting their cattle too much.
Making them too fat.
They're making them too fat. And I'm going to go out there on a limb and say the best way to hide your problems is get fat. Look at me. I
Agree.
got some problems.
Agreed.
No.
Fat is a pretty color on cattle, isn't it?
That is a pretty color on cattle, and you're exact. That's a great analogy to say that. And
You can use it.
thank you. Cheers, I appreciate that.
Cheers.
Far
Far out.
out. But it was really refreshing coming and seeing your bull operation today. And you said you've taken corn right out of the diet because there's been a lot of commercial producers say they're sick of seeing corn-fed bulls at market.
Yep.
And then they take them back to their commercial ranches, and they've got to go out onto native grasses and native pastures and perform, and they get home and they melt.
Frustrating.
Frustrating is when you got to go and spend $15,000 to $25,000 on a good quality article bull to keep that lift in your game and lift in your genetics.
Yep.
Then the bloody thing comes home and melts and falls apart, and he's too busy trying to get his hot girl summer body. You know what I mean? Like it's tough, and I don't know. Anyone who knows my family back home know we're pretty controversial. There'll be probably a couple of agents around the towers there going, "Yeah, that sounds like Davy Nichols." But it's very frustrating because commercial breeders, commercial cow-calf operations want just good quality, genetically sound bulls.
Yep.
That are going to come home and work. And credit. And this is not a paid plug or anything. It was really refreshing to see that you guys with your father and that, and your team around you are taking your bulls to what the actual commercial producer wants.
Right.
And there's seed stock operators there that they want their name in the paper and on the back of the book or whatever, and that's really lovely. But the average day Joe is actually, I think the average cow-calf operation in America is 35 head.
Yeah, the last number I saw was like
42.
42
42.
was like the official,
the official number. So,
But 35, it could be that on another number.
Yeah. So, they're not going out and buying 50, 60, $100,000 bulls. They're buying, that $5,000 to $15,000.
Yeah, I'd say that's a good range right there. Yeah.
And they need something that comes home and performs. So hats off to you guys for that. Sorry, I just thought
What a guy.
give you a little bit of a plug for that because I appreciate that as a commercial breeder.
This segment brought to you by R.A. Brown Ranch.
Yeah,
We'll
thank
pay you later.
Oh, thanks, mate. That cap's going to look good on my melon.
Paid you with a cap. Yeah. It was fun having y'all. What did we do? We went out to the ranch and did a little tour, saw the bulls, saw the cows.
It's wild. You guys have no underground water here.
Yeah, no underground water. Also, if there is, it's salt water.
Yeah. No, that's wild. Like, I think we went up to that play in Paladera there, Texas. Go and see it if you haven't seen it. It was awesome. But part of that play, one of the young ranch hands is being told that there's an underground lake underneath him and he can't swim.
Oh.
So
he's freaking out.
Because he's unsure of, what's going to go. It's quite the comical act, part of the play. But
I hadn't seen it yet, but y'all heard Carly talking about it. Carly loves it. Yeah.
Tell us what happened.
What happened over there, young fella?
I don't know. Just look down, and next thing I know, I'm bleeding.
This
And today-
podcast industry is dangerous.
He's had a tough day. You know, kind of hurt his ankle.
Yeah.
I'm worried about sending him out castrating cattle. Like I don't know if he's ready to come. You ain't no
castrate
cat.
myself.
Yeah. Like honestly.
All right, what you got, Mike?
So on social media, you can see helicopters and dirt bikes mustering cattle. Tell us about that, because I'm curious.
We touched on it there before when we were talking about the cowboy culture and how, you guys have very much, sorry, not you guys, the American cowboy and the American ranch, there's still a lot of horse involvement and everything like that. Australian labour is probably one of our biggest issues in production. Like, to find good quality labour is our biggest headache. And, our average wage and the people that we have to employ, we got to pay them good money to come and be remote and come and, like, I'd never ever think where we are now as classed as remote, but when you've got to sell the job, you got to realise that, we're driving, we've got to drive 45, 50 miles into our local town, and that local town's got one little shop that you can get groceries at. And nothing against that little shop, but the groceries are expensive.
Sure.
And then the next town to go and do, like, all our healthcare and everything like that is, nearly 100 mile away. So we just can't duck into town and go and, go and see a doctor when we need to. So like I said, I don't class ourselves as remote, whereas those stations up in the territory in the north, they are remote. So that labour gap means we've had to diversify, and that's where, like, the Robinson 22 helicopter has just really made country available for ranchers in Australia to be able to utilise that country. So even on our place, so my family's operations just shy of 60,000 acres. And before we put in laneway infrastructure and everything like that, we were using a helicopter to muster into one central point, and that was generally to a watering point. And then from that watering point, we'd jump on horses and collect those cattle off the chopper, and then we'd then collect them, cool them down, particularly Brahman bullocks, so all those are fairly flighty when they'd been brought in with a chopper. So we'd cool them down around the water, we'd work them a little bit, get them under control, and then we'd march them to, some of our biggest walks were 10, 15K, which is, 9, 10 miles, to the yards, to the pens, to go and sort them out.
Wow.
And we're probably a small operation. We're only walking 300 or 400 bullocks, whereas up in the territory in the Gulf and that, they're walking a lot bigger mobs. So
That's another good one. Bullock.
Yeah. So bullock is a grown steer.
Yeah.
Crikeys. 14 to 1500 pound grown male Brahman steer.
Gotcha.
Is a bullock. So to do that efficiently, we used helicopters, and we still rely on helicopters heavily in the northern industry. You wouldn't find it with us as much down the southern. Like, in saying that, northern boundary, the station above us, they still use helicopters because they're 75,000 acres and all cattle. And they've got to collect cattle from a long way away, so they still use helicopters. And it's just an efficiency thing.
Makes more sense.
It makes more sense to go and bring those cattle from those back pastures into a central point, and then they'll walk cattle in on horses and motorbikes and buggies. And then in those northern operations where there's still a lot of wild cattle around, they're going out there and the helicopter's spotting that wild cow or that wild bull, and the teams are going out. There's little teams, generally with a bull catcher. So that bull catcher is generally a little short wheelbase Toyota, no cab, with a catching arm on it. So that helicopter will bring that beast out into a bit of open field or open pasture where that vehicle can come in, catch it with a mechanical arm, and then it gets tied to a tree, and then the pickup crew will come and pick that cattle up, that bullock or that beast up, put on a little truck and take it to the yards. So
the catcher is so crazy because here the wild cattle typically get roped, like out in Arizona, way out west. Even
Yeah.
some in West Texas too. There's still some what we would call mavericks of like
Yep.
ones that got away last year
Yeah,
or
wow.
Yep,
2
yep.
years, and then you go to Arizona, it's like 6 years.
So we're pretty well mechanical roping because we're covering a couple of
So many.
like we're covering 50, 60 square mile of country with that
Yeah.
helicopter, and then catching those wild cattle. And
When that mechanical arm comes down, where does it grab them?
so generally, I haven't done a lot of it, and that's just just didn't get exposed to it as much. I much rather that sort of probably more seed stock operation and more
Yeah.
quieter cattle. But more or less, how that works is you've got your bull catcher and you've got a hazing vehicle, and it's exactly just thinking steer wrestling.
Sure.
It is mechanical steer wrestling. So the bull catcher comes up alongside the beast, and it's got to work. Same like you've got a live animal. You've got an animal that will still work off that point of the shoulder, whether it's a horse, a person on the ground, or a vehicle. And then you've got your hazer, and your hazer comes in and just keeps that beast from just peeling out. Come in, and the mechanical arm is like that, and it reaches over and grabs it around the neck. And then that cow is more or less now in a mobile chute.
Crazy.
A chute on the side of a 1980 Land Cruiser. So that mobile chute, because that's really what it is. It catches it in the neck area, because that's the least stressful area
Yeah.
to be able to catch it. And same with your ropes. Ropes go around the head or around the neck.
Yep.
And then they'll take that beast to a tree.
They slow down. The vehicle obviously slows right down to
Yeah,
a stop,
yeah.
and then you
Yep.
tie it around the horns and tie it to a tree.
And then the pickup crew's job is to come and pick that animal up and put into a that we're talking about different phrases and that. We don't have a lot of gooseneck trailers in Australia. We're all body trucks, so we're all little Hino and Japanese trucks cruising around like those little bogey drive trucks, and they've got a stock crate on the back of it. Same principle as a trailer, but it's just on a what we call a truck, which is like your big trucks that aren't articulated.
Yeah.
They come out with a crate, and pretty well put a chute down, and then you got to try and negotiate this animal onto the truck. Then they go to the pen, then they go and get sold. So
That's wild.
that's how that operation runs. And you got to remember that these places are 3, 4, 500,000 acres up to I think the biggest place in Australia is 2.5 million acres. Like that's how those operations run, because you physically can't ride that country all day, every day on a horse. So you need to be up in the air to be able to see what's going on.
That's wild. Moving to one of my favorite segments of the podcast. It's called the Bedrock Tough Question, brought to you by Bedrock Truck Beds, which are the toughest truck beds there are. That's why we use them. That's why we have 2 of them.
They look good. I saw it on the back. The F350 you always
Yeah.
have there. They look really good.
Yeah, the old Bedrock Truck Bed. It's good. That's the one I've got on mine is got the hay spikes, and it's hydraulic, and I got a little remote inside my truck that I can just
Yeah, wow.
pick it up.
That's cool.
Science,
cool.
man. It's good stuff.
Yeah,
It's good stuff. Check out
technology. Technology.
I'm in the chair. Check out Bedrock Truck Beds.
This is my house. Look at the truck bed. It's got a hay, folks. This is my neighbor. He does not have a Bedrock Tough bed. He's no good. I have a Bedrock Tough bed. He has a star-side body. Yeah, he cannot lift his bale on the back. And la 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 la.
If you haven't seen the movie, you won't get the joke, but I've seen the movie. So
Yeah, if you've seen the movie.
fantastic.
Shout
That's
out-
why we use
shout out to
Bedrock Truck
Borat.
Beds. Yeah, shout out Borat, good guy. That's why we use Bedrock Truck Beds. So what is the toughest thing about ranching in Australia
Loretta.
that you might not even think about? To an American, what is the toughest thing about ranching in America? Wow.
In America, wow.
What is the toughest thing about ranching in Australia?
Today was the heat at your ranch.
It was 105 today while we were walking around. That was tough. It was hot.
That was tough.
To be honest, so it's probably pretty similar to a lot of things that we've seen over here. Like you have the highs and lows of weather and tough seasons where you're hand feeding. I think, drought is horrendous. And you're out there day in, day out, and you might have downscaled considerably, and with your last few head left of maybe your best genetics, and just trying to hand feed those few to keep them going with hay and grain or whatever commodity you can get your hands on at that point. I know for me personally, that's some pretty dark days out there, feeding cattle when it's dire straits like that. Number 2 would be working with Will. No, I'm kidding. That's the best part.
We aren't your typical husband-wife operation. The best times we have together are in the cattle yards.
Normally it's the opposite.
It's normally the opposite, and you know what? That was a big tick in my little notebook when it came to getting married.
Yeah. It made me think of it. I remember there was an Aussie, and I was dating my now wife, and he was like, "Yeah, she's a bird," and I was like, "A what?"
Yeah, she's a good bird.
It's like, what are you talking? Yeah, that's what it was. She's a good bird, and I was like, what are you talking about? And apparently, that's the word they use. It's like not slang, but it's like for. How would you describe the description? It's a good. It's a good
thing. Like if she's a hot chick. Like,
she's a good young lady. She's
a good young lady.
She's an
attractive young lady. Like if someone said to Loretta, to me, she's a good bird. Like someone like an Australian said about your wife.
Yeah,
it means that she's just a good, wholesome person that you like. Like if
likable character.
Good gal.
You're a likable character. Like that's another thing we found over here is character. Like you guys have cartoon characters where I'd probably be called a bit of a colourful character at home. But that's like bird character. It's different people in your life that you respect.
Yeah.
As well as just it'd be a pretty it's a very respectful thing to say, hey, I like your bird.
Yeah.
Like that is
except you got to say that in the right tone, because if some bloke says to you, "Oh, I like your bird," you'd be like,
"Yeah, it'd be a little weird.
Watch him.
Yeah,
he might take your
weird.
bird."
Yeah, we're going to get that bull catcher out. We're going to castrate.
Yeah, bull catcher.
No, but like as a friend to a friend, like a mate to a mate, a bloke to a bloke. If I said, "Hey, mate, you got a good bird. Like she seems like a really nice lady."
She's a keeper.
Yeah, she's a keeper. Like
Keeper Cole. She's a keeper.
Yeah.
She's a keeper. That's good. Well, that's the Bedrock Tough question. She brought you.
To just go on what Loretta said, though, like, we definitely find it hard to sell a good news story about agriculture and then also, have the hard truths about agriculture as well, and then try and excite the younger generation about that. Like, it doesn't matter in agriculture when you're out on these ranches, out on these farms. Like I didn't get to experience it here in America, but I think you guys got like some services that you can order something online and it's here in 2 hours.
Not in Throckmorton.
Not in Throckmorton, but in the city, that's readily available.
Yeah.
Like if we have a machine breakdown at home, like one of our, you got your feed wagons on your ranch, we've got some of our tractors and implements. If it breaks down, we've got to be prepared to sit down for 3 days and wait for that part to turn up. We don't sit down, but we're going to get real agricultural and trying to fix it.
Yeah.
But
says the mechanic.
Yeah. We don't have that luxury. Like that luxury isn't available to us, and I think that's probably the same with people and staff. We don't have the luxury of being able to just hire and fire as we like. The likes of movies like shows like Yellowstone and that, where they seem to have that bit of a turnover of staff or whatever, and that's something I've personally struggled with going into that transition of being the junior farmhand to the senior farmhand to now the 2IC foreman, however you want to describe it, is just because I grew up on a ranch and I understand how it works doesn't mean that a young fella with a funny moustache from Alabama is going to get it. No, but
he's sitting there curling it.
But like it's hard for, and I know we touched on this today walking around. It's hard to try and the things that just naturally come to us, and the part I struggle with is I never want to take someone and treat them like they're idiot's not the right word, but I don't want to treat them like they're ignorant or be ignorant to the fact that they mightn't know, which makes me ignorant. But also, because when I was their age, I already knew, and that's something that I struggle with, and I don't know how you train that, and I don't know how you do that. I've been really lucky. I've taken on a mentor, and there's a fellow that's not even in the ranching space. He's in a different space in Australia, but he's managed a big team, and him and I have been working on those soft skills when it comes to actual ranch management and things like that. And to anyone out there that's in that same struggle as me, like, I'm 28 on a ranch with, when we're seasonally full, we got 10, 12 employees or contractors or whatever. If you're struggling with something, go and find that mentor, go and find someone to help you with that. It's something that's benefited me a lot. And that mentor came out of a bachelor party. It was the father of the groom.
Nice.
And him and I were late one night just talking about managing a team and just talking about, I just had a real heart-to-heart to him about things I was struggling with. And he was like, oh, so obviously Hamish has told you I did my bachelor's or my master's in leadership. I said, no. I didn't know that. I'm just being I'm being open and honest with you, and that stemmed into him and I are now working through a lot of things that I struggle with. So if you can find a mentor, I feel like that has really helped me keep me accountable on a lot of things, but also just help my whole entire next stage of my life really, really ramp up. And because Loretta and I live and work together, there's been different times, and I'm going to go back to the bedrock tough question.
Yep.
A tough thing for us is we work alongside each other day in and day out, and we've got to have hard discussions, but then we've also got to come home and be a husband and wife.
Yeah, that's tough.
And I struggle turning off when I get home, and my phone rings flat out, and that takes a toll on Loretta, because Loretta, we try to have the rule that everything gets left at the gate.
Oh, nice.
Of our house yard, but it doesn't.
Uh-huh.
But we try and keep those rules. We try and keep those things, and that for me is probably the toughest thing. Is I wouldn't want no one else other than this lady in my life to be alongside me on this journey.
What a guy.
But trying to
Sweetheart.
What a guy.
trying to have a professional relationship in the paddock and then a personal relationship, it's tough, mate. It is really, really tough.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It would be tough with, because I don't have to, I work with a bunch of my family.
Yep.
But sometimes I'll call my dad Donald just to separate that, because sometimes he wants me to call him Dad, but sometimes I'm like, Donald, we got to talk, or like Donald, what are we doing tomorrow? And that's when I'm in work mode.
Yeah.
Because then it helps me separate it.
Yep.
And then whenever we're done, I can be like, well, then we can kind of talk. I'm like, Dad, what are we going to do with these cows?
Yeah.
And it lightens it up.
There is not one good rancher or one good grazier out there that doesn't wear their heart on their sleeve and say that you can't leave it at the gate.
Right.
We try to, but
Never shuts off.
it never shuts off. But yeah, if there's someone out there that's got the golden bullet answer on how to help that, but I think it's just important to remember that at the end of the day, you've got three things in your life. You've got your family, you got your faith, and you've got your friends. And not one of those things is work. So there's something that, there's a part of that we talked about before that we've struggled with a little bit where we are, but we're working through that. But like you gotta have those things in your life to still live a wholesome life. And ranching, I think, is the only industry where you have to nearly have that fourth thing, and it's your farm or your work. And it's tough, mate. Like, it is really tough to try and, like, it's all well and good when the prices are high, the season's going with you. Like, mate, anyone who can make money this year, like, if you're not making money this year ranching, like, in America.
When will you if you don't?
Exactly. And if you're struggling, I think it's a good time to have a check and actually go and reassess your business goals, because this is an awesome time. But when it turns, and unfortunately for Loretta and I, we have had a cattle deal where we were trying to break out ourselves fall on the wayside, and we weren't married. I took on a lot of debt in one of those riding the highs of the market, and we got to the peak of the market and had a lot of cattle online, and it stopped raining. And it turned off quick. And now when I mean it turned off quick, the Eastern Young Cattle Indicator, which is a marker at home, went from $7 to $3 in about 3 months.
Oh.
And here's me on borrowed money at $6 because I was still riding the escalator up. So I'm not. Yeah, that's my decision. Like, that was me driving in the driver's seat, and inexperience, and got myself in that situation. Luckily, I've got a good team around me. Like, I've got some good support, and I've had a really good cattle agent over there that has helped me through it. But, mate, there's been some hard conversations where, without having that support in my wife or my fiance at the time, I probably wouldn't be here. And yeah, don't want to get deep on this podcast, but like, you got to remember, like, your family, your faith, your friends, you need to have that worked out, and then you go and ride on the rest of it, because it gets, like, when it's hard, it's hard. Like, it's all good to sit here and go, it's great.
Sure.
But ranching is tough.
Yeah, no doubt.
And fun, like, it's, yeah. And, we're riding that. We're still sitting in a bit of a situation where we owe a fair bit of money in different places, and we're working through it, but, we've got each other, and, yeah, we're...
Well, I think that's the cool part is that whenever that, not that that's cool, that you got into that trouble, but it is cool that you're making it to the other side, because there's a lot of people who won't make it to the other side from
that. And the accountants and the bank managers said, just declare bankruptcy and start again. I'm too proud to do that.
Yeah.
I've got to go... All that was going to do was going to shift that financial burden onto another family-owned business. That was the agency that, like the cattle auction, like the people that was supporting me through that trade. And yeah, you got to go and live and work and be alongside. Like, he was the president of the show society, and I was his vice president. And how do you go and just give up and then go and sit alongside each other and pretend it's all roses, eating a corn dog at the show?
Corn dog and will cakes.
Yeah, dag with dogs. We're daggy dogs.
Daggy dogs.
Daggy dogs.
Oh, that's a will analogy.
Will analogy. Is that a corn dog?
A Dagwood dog is the Australian equivalent of a corn dog.
Dagwood dog. I'm gonna start using that.
I'm not. I don't even. What in the Dagwood?
Yeah.
Dagwood.
Anyway, so to anyone out there that is listening, like, there's going to be tough days and there's going to be good days, but surround yourself with people that are on your team and on your side. And if they're not,
get rid of them.
Yeah, I can't say that on this podcast, but beep them off. Like, get them out of your life, because they're not supporting any of those people. And that's tough. That's a tough call to make, but yeah. Anyway, sorry, I got back on one of my
That was good.
Yeah.
The Bedrock Tough question just brought that to you.
Bit of emotion.
Brought to you by Bedrock Truck Beds. That was good. No, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, it's tough, mate. And Anyway, I hope someone out there sees that and goes, there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
We've had to hustle with a lot of different things outside of cattle to, do it. And this trip was a big part of this trip was our employers supporting us and actually,
Sure.
and with time and financially supporting us to go on this. And that's when
That's
you've got
cool.
that's when you've got a good employer.
Yeah. Taking
You
care
know,
of you.
that's we're not remote, but for some people we are, and this family appreciates the effort we put in. Like we log some big hours and some big days, and don't ask for that because we're not on an hourly rate. But when you put in those hard yards, work for the people that appreciate that, and that doesn't have to be a 6-week holiday to America. That can be, coming to you on a Friday afternoon with a 6-pack of beer and just saying, "Hey, mate, I'm really proud of the job you did this week."
Mm-hmm.
And if you're in a position where you're unhappy and you don't think you're getting that, don't quit, but actively look at yourself and go, how do I go and work for the people that do look after you? And then if you think you can answer those questions, then go and find that employer, because they won't be advertising a role. They don't have to advertise the role.
Right.
We stepped in a position that wasn't advertised, but they're just good people and good employers. So, yeah, a bit of a take home to any young people out there listening. Like I don't know. That's what I've learned the last 10 years is go to people that look after you, and if they're not looking after you, check yourself first and see if you'd be someone you look after. And if you're not looking after yourself, well, you're probably not going to get looked after anywhere you go.
True.
I don't know.
He's spitting wisdom. Is what that is.
Ooh, all right.
He's spitting wisdom. That's some good wisdom right there. Well, this will move us to the next, one of my favorite segments of the podcast. It's where you get to become the host. You get to become the host, and you get to ask me or Alabama a question or two.
Do we get an intro song?
Ooh.
Do you need one?
I think I need one. I'm going to leave that one up to you.
Because you're the rodeo announcer.
Ooh,
You're the rodeo announcer. I mean,
I am now.
it is.
Any radios in Australia looking for someone? I am available.
He is looking. It's going to be the same song, but we're gonna go ahead and hit that for you as we hit into the. I was trying to think of something good, but the Nicholas podcast right here.
I reckon we're going to go with radio, coming to you live from the studios of the Wheelbilly and Loretta T. Tonchek podcast. We've got some great people here today. We're going to cross over to my little co-host, a pretty little thing called Loretta. How are you going, Loretta?
I'm good, thanks, Will. How are you?
Oh, on top of the world. It's been great. It's
Top
been
of
a lot
the
of
world.
fun. We've got a couple of young fellas in the podcast here today, and look at him over there. He's starting his stuff. We got the young man called Tucker Brown. Tucker, hello.
Hey, top of the world.
Top of the world. G'day, mate. And we've got Sweet Home Alabama.
That's right.
Attaboy, Mike.
No,
Mike down the end there. We're going to just launch straight into this with
Let's
a
go.
question. Let's
Let's
go.
go.
Mike, what drew you to come up and work with Tucker? What was the biggest thing that you saw he was doing that you reckon was something you wanted to be a
Ooh.
part of?
That's actually a good one. What led me here, I believe God, 100%. The circumstances I was in, and prayed, gave it up to the Lord, and sure enough, within 3 days, old Willie Wardle reached out to me on Instagram,
Shout out, Willie.
and Tucker got my number, and that was history.
3
But
days. That's crazy.
It really is. And he's just ripping that sheet between the consumer and the rancher. So taking that blindfold off, and he does it in a fun way, which I love helping make that.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
I just love working with him, and he's shares wisdom and business knowledge, and I mean he's just been a great mentor so far.
That's awesome. Righto, across to you, Tucker. In the last 5 years, what has been something that you've been, this is two-parter, personally yourself, that you've learnt and you've grown on in yourself, and then also as a young businessman in this industry, learnt and overcome and made something better of yourself about it?
Oh, that's good. Me, I think it was just becoming a dad. Like
Yes, sir.
realizing that
You
I
got
got something.
beautiful, 3 beautiful daughters.
Oh, they're so precious, man. They loved jumping on the trampoline with you.
They
They
that
love
that was a funny sight to see. I ain't gonna lie.
They love
And me
that.
spraining my ankle, but
Yeah, those. Yeah, I think for me, just like learning to become a dad, and especially with 3, like when the 3rd child hit, it was like, because with 1 child you can kind of still do the things, a single guy or a couple without kids would do.
Yep.
With 2, it's like you still try, and then with 3, there's no hope. Not hope is not the right word, but you are fully into parenthood, and
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
it is your faith, your family, and your friends, and taking care of those 3 are important. Like you said, like that's when it's like, man, playing around the golf today would be fun, but I've got a baby spitting up over here, and another one that wants to watch Elsa and wants me to watch it with her, so I'm probably gonna watch that with her. So that's been good, humbling, very humbling.
It's been great. I actually got personal best on the course here today without you. No.
The
No,
Kids Club.
that's really deep, mate. And from a business sense, where same question, what have you learned the last 5 years?
I think on the business side, I am never afraid to ask questions.
Yep.
And so as I jumped into this, like, for lack of a better term, influencer role on social media.
Which is hard in this industry because it's not a very common thing. Like
super niche.
No.
it could be taken, particularly in Australia space, like it couldn't be taken a whole different way. That uppity is not the right word,
Right.
But
you're an influencer.
you're an
And you're better
influencer.
than me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You ain't no real rancher.
Correct. I
But-
get that all
but-
the time.
But
yeah.
this bloke here, he was doing a farm tour, and he asked his foreman that, did they need a bag of mineral down in some of the cows we went and looked at, and that to me is a rancher because you're going down there. That's one less job he hasn't got to worry about on Monday morning tomorrow.
Right.
Is
right.
you're going down there. You're thinking about the 5 other things that are happening in that paddock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was. Yeah, I'm definitely not afraid to ask questions or definitely know my spot. Where can I be the most helpful? Because a lot of the times I'm the first guy off the bench. Like I'm not really the best roper. I'm not really the best. I can do it. When my brother misses, which he rarely does, I'll be there. Yeah, but I'm not afraid to ask questions and surround myself with people. Whenever I got into this influencer role, it was like, all right, who is already doing this?
Yeah.
Who can I ask questions to protect myself? Shout out Dale Brisby because that's who I asked.
Yep.
And I was like, hey, what do I do when this happens?
Yep.
And he and a few others, Farmer Froberg, Tyler Froberg was another one.
That guy's awesome.
Yeah, and Apple Girl Kate,
Yeah.
another one. Shallow Farms, Noah Young,
Yeah.
another one. Like surrounding myself with like God-fearing men and women who are like keeping because the influencer is like a negative connotation. Like, where can I find the positive connotations within the industry that I want to be in?
Yep.
And like, what are they doing, and how can I make that my own?
Yep.
And so I was never afraid to ask questions.
Yeah.
That was like the best thing I ever did was be friends with them, and whenever like try to help them, try to add value to them in some way, which was number one, not telling them what to do, but more of like asking questions, being kind, being a friend.
Yep.
That kind of thing. Because Emma and I are in that same circle too now, because she does the same thing on the influencer ag side. So
Yeah, so I think shout out to Emma Kaufman from
Yeah.
Double E Ranch. She brought us together.
yeah,
Loretta and her had a relationship there, and she introduced us, and here we are now. So
yep,
it's been a lot of fun, but like you said, through that connection of influencers and people that are influencing. I don't like the term influencing because that can be looked at 2 different ways.
agreed.
It's people that are passionate about the ag industry and aren't afraid to put themselves in that public limelight. You mightn't agree with everything they say, but you also got to respect the fact that they're up there and you're not.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's like the volunteers that go and be on that committee, that rodeo committee, year in, year out. Everyone's got something to say about the rodeo, but until you're on that committee yourself, go and volunteer your time.
Yeah.
If you don't.
Yeah. If you don't like
If you
it.
got something big to say, get on your platform and say it. There has never been an easier time to go and have your say and be heard
True.
than it is now. So don't ever knock someone that is actually out there. And, you are doing this for all the right reasons. You aren't here to sledge the industry or sledge anyone else. You're doing it for the right reasons. So, where's that button with the applause? Yeah.
Yay.
It's my podcast now.
That was good. That was like, that was it. You need a podcast.
Yeah.
That's what you need to do.
I don't know.
Get him going,
If we get
Loretta.
a, if we get a
Yeah,
bit
I
of
reckon.
If we get a bit of feedback out of this one, we might have a little look in,
Have a crack at it.
have a crack at it.
That'd be fun. That'd be fun.
I would listen.
Nice.
When you guys come
Thanks,
over to
guys.
beef in
No problem.
27, we'll
Yeah. That's
yeah,
what I was about to say.
Decipher
When I
everything
come
we
to
are talking
when I
about.
come to Rocky
Rocky, yeah,
Beef,
Rocky beef week.
going to Beef Week at Rocky in 2027.
Yeah.
Yep,
That's gonna be fun.
might have to have one of these microphones in my face, and we'll talk about a few things, eh?
So 2027, is that what we're doing? Setting a goal for the podcast that you're starting? Is that what
Oh,
it is?
I don't know.
Let's put a timeline on it.
Hey, it's
Righto.
recorded now. You
Yeah.
can't get, you
Yeah.
can't get away
this,
from it.
This
Can't
could
take
be
it back.
something. This could be something to explore. Well, like you said, surround yourself around the people that you want to be like. And
Yeah,
no, we've had a lot of fun this afternoon, so it's just
have.
been great.
that's good. Loretta, what is one thing we haven't covered that you think a lot of Americans should know about Australia, ranching, or Australia in general? And if I said something like, what would you say in response if I said something like, Aussie, Aussie, Aussie?
Oi,
Oi,
oi.
oi, oi!
I love that so much.
Yeah, there. I think the terminology cracks us up, as we touched on earlier. There's plenty of words where I think we're talking about the same thing 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
there's this slight difference in words is pretty comical. But on a ranching note, I think we don't ride kangaroos. I really want to preface that.
What?
And we,
It's all
Y'all
fake.
yeah, no.
You heard it here first.
So that I know that's not quite ranching directly, but yeah, no, we don't ride kangaroos. There is occasionally them on our front yard, but we don't ride them. We did take a plane to get to the USA. We didn't ride a kangaroo.
You have
Um,
electricity?
We sure do. We have
Wow.
running water,
Wow.
flushing toilets,
Goes-
and electricity.
The right way or backwards?
The toilets? The
the-
toilets roll the other way.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
It's interesting.
Some Americans may not know that, but yeah, I mean we're in the southern hemisphere. You guys are in the northern, so our water swells the opposite way down the bathtub drain, down the toilet.
You know what else is weird to think about? Is that the Australian Santa Claus is normally on the beach. He's not in. He's
In a
not
worn
going
out-
through
in a
splinter-
worn-out FJ Ute.
So
Yeah.
white Christmas is like not a thing, obviously, because it's
just the white sandy
Yeah.
beaches.
It's not snowing for our Christmas.
It's summer.
It's
Picture-
like Florida.
Yeah.
Picture your 4th of July where you're, on the lake, you're in your swimmers, that sort of vibe
Swimmers.
Yeah.
is what our Christmases are like.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
All seasons are flip flop.
100%. Yeah, when it's your winter, it's our summer, and vice versa.
So it's winter over there right now.
It is.
End of
yeah,
ending, kind of falling into spring.
that's correct.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
That's,
Can't wait for it to be our turn.
I know.
Your turn to
Thinking
come
about
to Australia.
Yes,
That too.
that's what I'm waiting for. That's what I meant. What were you saying?
Winter.
Winter.
One,
just
one,
want-
one thing we've learned in coming over here is insects aren't that scary. The snakes aren't going to bite all of you. And the spiders, well, they have an acquired taste.
Y'all have some big spiders.
But, like, the amount of people that have said we'd come to Australia
If it weren't for brown
if
snakes.
it weren't for brown snakes and big spiders, like,
We see them. but
toughen
they-
up. Let's
Toughen up.
let's be a little bit bedrock tough about this.
Hey, come on.
But no, honestly, we work in a lot of snake environment and spider environment, and Loretta, I don't know if we've never been bitten.
Yeah, and we're still here to tell a tale, and so is 26 million other Australians.
So come on down to Australia. Like, there's never been a better time for the American tourists to come to Australia.
I will say, though, we were pretty scared to get out of our car in Yellowstone in case we got eaten by a bear. I will say that.
I don't know how many people we asked whether or not we should be carrying bear spray or not. And you know what the worst thing was like, is that how Americans feel about Australian snakes and spiders?
Yep.
Like, are we the snake and spider people in America now going, that black bear, is he gonna eat me? Is Yogi really not that friendly? Like, should we have 10 picnic baskets
Where's
in
his
the back
picnic
of our
basket?
truck?
Give him it as a treat.
Dear.
How cool! Because like, it's neat that y'all have done things that I mean, it's kind of frustrating too that y'all have seen things in America that I haven't seen. Like, I've never been to the Grand Canyon. I've never been to Yellowstone, and like y'all doing that just makes me want to do that.
Hit the road.
I'm glad. But I will say, too, I mean, there's a lot of Australians that probably haven't seen Uluru or...
Me neither.
Uluru.
Me?
Yeah.
I've never
I
seen it.
pronounce that right?
What's Uluru?
Big red rock in the middle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Ayers Rock is its other name.
Ezrock.
Yeah.
Okay,
pretty famous.
it is. Yeah.
The mullet's
say so.
pretty famous over there too, huh?
The mullet.
Mm-hmm.
Mullet,
Sure
the
is.
shoey.
The shoey.
The shoey.
Trying to grow one out.
What's that?
A shoey.
That's what you call a mullet?
No.
No. The shoey. The shoey seems to be this, like, every American artist, country music scene. It's rank.
Oh, no.
You pour a beer into your boot and then you.
Oh, drink.
Oh, a
shoey.
shoey. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh. No, I meant the mullet, like just the haircut.
No. The mullet's very popular. The mullet is back.
Mullet is back.
The mullet is back.
I like to live in that area of like, do you have a mullet? Are you
No.
trying to grow a mullet? That's where I like to live.
Yeah.
Like, I got a little bit of curl going.
Questionable. Like, he's 30 miles from Dale Brisbane. He's not quite Dale.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, that's the truth. That's the truth. Anything else, Mike?
Yeah. So, your youth in Australia, how like connected are they with ag and like wanting to get in there? And then like, do y'all have any,
Youth
like,
program?
yeah, youth programs like we do?
I think from it, when you're saying are the youth connected to ag, in my opinion, there is youth that couldn't be further from agriculture. And then the other portion of youth, there is some phenomenal young people in ag in Australia. Absolutely phenomenal. They're making leaps and bounds in a lot of ways, and some of those are first generation as well. So
Yeah.
they haven't grown up with it, and they've really made themselves in the industry. So I think that's a two-parter. It's sort of some people in the city and that, they still think that milk just comes from the cold section at your grocery store rather than knowing that it even comes from an animal per se. And then there's the others that I don't like. There's some young people around us that I wouldn't know more passionate people about ag. So it's sort of two sort of split, not necessarily competition to each other split, but just two very different populations, I suppose, around that. And then on the youth program side of things, absolutely. I probably am not too familiar with some of your youth programs, but throughout our show program, so with same as your fairs, we have like our local show, regional shows and state shows, and those sorts of things. And yeah, there's livestock judging, both meat, sheep, wool sheep, cattle, horses, poultry. There's various different sections there that you can be a young judge of, and you get judged on how well you judge.
Yeah.
So we've got our shows program, and same idea. You can show a steer and show a cow, and a lot of high schools have ag programs, particularly in the rural towns, and that's a fantastic way that youth are extremely involved. And I know for myself, a lot of my connections that I've made in my early career and getting through university, and that was built off people I met through cattle showing and through the Young Judges program, being able to judge cattle growing up. I think I first held a microphone judging cattle when I was about 5.
Wow.
I first led a cow in a show ring when I was 3. She was considerably bigger than me, and she led herself. She was a pretty experienced old cow, and my granddad just let me hold her lead, really. But yeah, and those sorts of connections are 100% what has built so much of my connections and career in ag. So youth in ag is huge, and not at
Good.
all, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just becoming more separated,
It's a
probably.
flip of
Yeah.
a coin.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
If you've been born into the industry, like what Loretta said with her grandfather giving her the chance to lead that cow into the show ring, she was able to go and actually be part of the ag industry, and that I think it is hard for a person born in the city to break that stigma. But in saying that, there's a lot of good programs that our big corporates offer that take inexperienced, and all they are looking for is someone that is keen.
Good attitude goes a long way.
Yeah, that's
can
got the
apply
right
yourself.
attitude.
That's
you know,
so
like,
true.
I like you learning a little bit about your intern program there at R.A. Brown Ranch. You
Yeah.
know, like that program. You know, I asked you. I said, "What's the caliber of the person that needs to get into that?" And you know, you said to me, "You said, oh, it'd be really handy if they know how to ride. It'd be good if they can do this, can do that." But in saying that, they don't have to. If they come up with the right attitude.
Mm-hmm.
The right attitude. If you turn up with the right attitude and the willingness to listen and learn, you'll go a lot further than the person that thinks they know it all.
Yes.
Where there's
So
a will,
true.
there's a way.
So true.
Yeah, and that's probably something I've learnt the hard way is sometimes you just got to shut the fuck up and listen and learn. Like, sorry, but
Shut your mouth. yeah.
yeah,
Just,
like
just
you-
listen.
And,
up.
and yeah, I've learned that the hard way because I can be pretty box-headed at times and try and steer the ship and take it that way. But yeah, as you get a little bit older and a little bit wiser and listen to your mentors and listen to the people around you, you know, your wife, your friends, God, you work out that there's things that are giving you signs and just go in with the right attitude. And yeah, you don't have to be the smartest man in the room. Like you said, you know, you don't have to be the best roper. You don't have to be the best at everything, but you've got the right attitude.
Mm-hmm.
And if you got the right attitude, people are willing to work with that because that's getting harder and harder to find these days.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah.
So true. Well, do you have any? We always like to kind of like wrap it up with either a favorite Bible verse, a favorite chapter, life advice, which you've already given some good wisdom today. But
Good Wilson. Well, Loretta, you go.
All right. Well, I've been pondering on this since we were talking about it earlier. But my saying, and I actually only heard it recently, but I think it's absolutely brilliant. And it's, if you've got beef with me and not on your fork, you ain't mad, you hungry.
ooh, ooh,
Pretty good.
But and Bible verse wise, I feel a significant connection to creation. I feel like that's my sorry, that's really broad, but I guess that's where my calling, I strongly believe, is centered around agriculture. Is this idea of stewardship of the land and stewardship of God's creation. And so a lot of verses that are bookmarked for me are around sort of creation, but one of those is Galatians 6, 7 and 8. You cannot fool God, so don't make a fool of yourself. You will harvest what you plant. And if you follow your selfish desires, you will harvest destruction. But if you follow the Spirit, you will harvest eternal life. So I love that, and I think that ties back to
you will
ag.
harvest what you
I was
plant.
going to say
It's so
6
good.
and 9.
Yeah.
It's so good. Will?
Yeah, Loretta, that was a good segue into mine. Ecclesiastes 11:4. Whoever watches the wind will not plant. Whoever looks to the clouds will not reap.
Say it one more time.
Whoever watches the wind will not plant. Whoever watches the clouds will not reap.
Ecclesiastes
11:4.
11:4.
So that is, to me, is, you know, it means to me, like, you got to take risks. And farming is, I hate when you say farming is gambling. Like, I don't believe that is the right word for it. I think farming is educated guess with the best of your abilities and the best of your people around you. You know, the advice you take from that, you make a decision based on that. So, and then we can sit here and pray for rain as much as we like, but if that doesn't happen, also being experienced and wise and listening to everything and what the country's telling us and all the rest of it. That's just the way it is. Like you got to sort of roll with the punches with it, and not everything's going to work in your favour. Not everything's going to be how you want it. One of those, it's a Macklemore. Is it Macklemore song? I can't remember. What? No, sorry, Pitbull song.
Come on.
I asked for money. I got advice. I got money twice.
Fair.
That's
I like that,
that is-
actually. Shout
That
out
is
Pitbull, Mr.
yeah,
Worldwide.
Mr. Worldwide.
It's the
Yeah.
305.
As for money, no. As for money, got advice. As for advice, got money twice. So like that's something that's a little bit funny, and we can joke around it. But how true is that?
Yeah, yeah.
Talk to people.
I really do
Go and
like
ask that
that.
question. Like, I want to ask advice. Go and I'm not saying a consultant and all that's going to solve all your problems, but go and talk to those people that are supporting your business and are around your business and going to help you out. And that doesn't have to be someone you pay. That can be someone like yourself, Tucker. That I ring you when it's midnight over here because I'm too ignorant to look at the time. And go, hey brother, I've got someone I'm having trouble with. How have you overcome this? That's asking for advice because you want to get your money out of that person. And like this is all I can say is it's been a lot of fun, mate. And I really take my hat off to you because you've probably given me a little bit of confidence to probably go and do something like this back home. But
Come on.
Good deal.
yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it's really nice to see that you've got a good support and good following of people. And hey, all you got to do is reach out to any one of us. Like I no doubt you'll tag us in your posts.
Yeah.
Do not ever feel like you can't reach out. And if you got any questions, wanted some support, well, all I'm going to give you is a little bit of life advice. And if you don't like it, well, that's your own prerogative.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
How can they follow you?
or
Or do you want them to?
Yeah. So we're not influencers, so I got to look.
I don't even know what our handle is.
Hang on, here we go. If you want to give us a follow, so my handle on Instagram is Willie, WILLY _ Nichols, NICKELS. If you want to follow a little bit of the fun on Snapchat, it is Willie Nichols -1.
Your snaps are good.
Snaps are pretty funny. Give us a like or a follow, and if we can get a bit of traction, I'm happy to give it a crack. I've got some great friends in Australia that are kicking goals with their podcasts. Some of the comical ones that I listen to over there. We've got the Alpha Blokes, the Two Flogs. A good mate of mine, Brett Hanley's got the what's his Proper True Yarn podcast. They're all comical outlets that help me just sometimes break that barrier between work, home, and I'll just put it on driving home or driving back from town or whatever to just it is just something in the background that you can listen to and relate to, and some of it's pretty rude, some of it's not my cup of tea,
Sure.
but other things are, and you don't have to take a podcast, and this one's probably a lot more educational, but find what you like and just run with it. Use this as your safe space.
Comedy's mine too. John Christ is a comedian that I'm going to see in November. I'm super pumped.
Nice.
But his it's he is a comedian that is a Christian. So he's
Yellow
pretty
black
clean. Huh?
Yellow black hair.
Yeah. He's pretty clean, but he is hilarious.
Yeah.
But that's my 7 minutes to home.
Yes, sir.
It's like my-
that's exactly right.
My little calm down.
You can
clean
listen
comedian.
to that podcast and come home and step in and just get attacked by 3 beautiful young girls and a wife
Yeah.
and just go, I'm ready for this. You
Yeah.
could have had the worst day at work,
Mm-hmm.
but that space.
That little 7 minute drive keeps me separated. Yeah, but the cool thing about the podcast deal, today was part of it. You get to have some of the coolest people from around the world come here. You go around the ranch, you go home, you cook some steaks, you eat s'mores,
Yeah, that was beautiful.
you have a sip.
Get on a trampoline.
Got on a tramp.
That'd be him.
You watch him try to do a front flip. That was pretty funny.
That was. And he did try. I didn't think he was going to, and he tried.
He did.
Hey, I commit to the bit.
He did
every
commit.
single
He
time.
does
A,
commit.
A
every
plus, A plus for effort.
Hey, thank you.
C for
Literally commits.
achievement.
Every time.
Hey, mate,
It
it's
is
been a
insane.
lot of fun, Tucker. We really appreciate the
Hey, what a
opportunity.
pleasure. What a
Yes.
pleasure
So much fun.
to have y'all
It
here.
was very fun meeting y'all and getting to hang out all night. And Aussie,
Definitely.
Aussie, Aussie.
Oi, oi, oi.
Come on, 2027?
Let's go.
At least by 2027.
Yeah, let's go.
You know, maybe between now and then. But at least now I get to see some of your snaps and
Yeah.
your posted. What'd you call your snap minute? Your
Oh, my Wednesday waffle.
Wednesday
Wednesday
waffle.
You got
You're an
3 days.
influencer in the making.
3 days.
Like
You get to
It's
watch one.
coming. What a pleasure, guys. Like, so fun.
Thank
so
you.
fun. So
Thank you,
glad.
Tucker, for
Shout out
having
Emma
us.
Kaufman
Yes.
for getting us
Yeah.
connected.
Yeah,
Thank
awesome.
you, Emma. Double E.
Shout out to her. You've been listening to the Registered Ranching Podcast with Tucker Brown and Michael Stevens. And the two Aussies. Aussie.
Oi, oi, oi.
Come on. Y'all check out registeredranching.com. Get you some merchandise. We're going to have to get you a Registered Ranching cap, too. That'll be good. We'll get over there and get it. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, we love you. God bless. But don't forget, y'all stay classy and ranch on them.